members. Visit NotreDameFCU.com/member to become a member and receive $200 when you open a checking account. Insured by NCUA, visit their website for full offer details. Once again, please visit their website for more information on their products and services. As we take it to the bottom of inning number 2, it's a scoreless game, and Kyle Zarnacki will lead off an inning in which the Oilmen will send the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to the plate against Lake County right-hander Ryan Troxel. The two teams have pitched well here in the early going, as we would expect from this pitching matchup. Neither team with a hit through the first inning and a half, and Zarnacki will try to change that as he stands in against Troxel to lead things off here in the second. Troxel delivers a strike, and it's 0-1. Troxel's last outing came against the Chicago American Giants on July the 9th. He went 4 shutout innings, 3 hits, no walks, and he struck out 6 in that one. Here's the 0-1. It's taken for strike 2 called, 0-2.
Yeah, he pitched really well that day. He probably could have went deeper, but the All-Star game was coming up on that Tuesday, so he got cut off after 4, so he could pitch in that game as he earned it. He earned the right to pitch in the game.
Here's the 0-2. This is taken off the plate away, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Zarnacki. 1-2. Here's the pitch on the way. This is swung on and popped up. Right side, foul territory. Back is Johnstone, and he tries to climb the brick wall, but runs out of real estate as it sails into the chairback seats right near the Charlie Pasquarelli section, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scoreless game here in the second. 1-2 the count on Zarnacki. This is low for a ball. 2-2.
That's a good pitch on 1-2. It looked like it was his changeup. Typically, what to do with that is keep it low, especially on a 1-2 count. See if you can get a rollover or a swing and a miss.
Here's the 2-2. This is taken inside for a ball, leaping out of the way of it, or jumping back out of the way of it with Zarnacki. We go full. It's a very warm day here at Oil City. It's heated up a few degrees from last night. The payoff pitch is taken inside for ball 4. Zarnacki works the walk, and it's a leadoff base runner to begin the second. Second walk issued by Troxel.
Yeah, it was a good battle by Zarnacki as he fell off some good quality pitches, but just missed on the inside corner by Troxel. If he is missing, it's usually by just an inch or 2. He's not typically too wild if he's missing. But see if he can bounce back here and induce a double play against Scott.
Scoreless game here in the second as Zarnacki reaches to lead off the inning against Troxel. Zarnacki to lead at first. Here's a foul off the body of Scott, and the count 0-1. Oilmen trying to bounce back. An 11-0 loss to the Chicago American Giants. The loss was 11-0. It snapped an 11-game losing streak for the Giants, and it was the first time in the 11-year history of the Oilmen that they lost in a shutout by such a wide margin.
Well, good thing that game was yesterday. And yesterday's games don't affect today's games. And for the Oilmen, if they can get a bounce-back win against the number 1 team in the league, you would say that the momentum shifted right back to where it was, a team that's been trying to catch the Vikings that are sitting in second place.
No doubt, no question. I do want to talk a little more, though, about yesterday. 0-1 the count here. This is taken for a strike, and it's 0-2. The Giants entered at just 4-26. We mentioned the 11-game losing streak, but as Leo and I talked about yesterday, they had 7 one-run losses, including 3 one-run losses against the Oilmen. Here's the set, and Troxel's pickoff throw to first, diving back in head first as Zarnacki. And I think yesterday I took a little bit of a different approach where normally I think and talk and write about what went wrong for the Oilmen. We did some of that too. But I also wanted to tell the story of the Giants, a team that had lost 11 in a row, but they come out and they bring it every day. They've had so many close games. Their guys show up. Trey Gilmore works very hard. Here's the 0-2. This is high for a ball. Now a snap throw to first. It's not in time. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Scott. And I thought it was appropriate to let them savor that moment of coming into Oil City Stadium as the road team and knocking off a team that for the last decade has been overall, not the best team every year, but overall the premier franchise in the league. The 1-2 swing and a miss, and Scott is out on strikes for the first out of the second inning, and that'll bring up Cunha. And I thought it was appropriate to recognize the Giants for a win to snap out of what can be rough when you're losing game after game.
Yeah, and every time the Corn Dogs have met up with the American Giants, you can't not talk about how much effort they put into every game. You can look at their record and chalk it up that the season's over, that they're not going to make the playoffs, but they come into every game as if they have a fighting chance.
Runner goes, pitch high for a ball, throw to second on Zarnacki is going to be not in time. Zarnacki steals second base, and the pitch was high to Cunha for ball one.
But for the American Giants, they have nothing but my respect, and it sounds like you also have a great deal of respect for that franchise, and for every time they come to Oil City, they come in and they value you guys. I've watched a couple of games, and they've always been fun. It's just yesterday they finally broke through.
Yeah, they finally finished the game is what happened. We'll get to more on that in a minute. The 1-0 is taken for a strike, and the count levels out at a ball and a strike. Scoreless game here in the second. But Adam Enright's talking to me after about how Oilmen had not done much to earn the wins in the games against the Giants this year, and the Giants were in position to win those games but just shot themselves in the foot late in the game, had self-induced issues to lose to the Oilmen here at the OC several times in walk-off fashion. And last night, here comes the 1-1. It's high for ball two. Adam saying they outplayed us in pretty much every aspect of the game. 2 balls, 1 strike. And then as far as what the Oilmen want to do differently offensively tonight, as Zarnacki takes his lead from second, he's in scoring position here. Is the 2-1. It's high for a ball. Or what they need to do better last night is to try to do damage early in counts. Adam telling me that so many times they had fastballs with no strikes, and they were just fouling them off to the opposite side of the field. So having a plan and being prepared. This is ball 4, and the Oilmen have 2 on here, 2 walks in this inning, 3 for the day issued by Troxel. Having more of a plan at the plate, especially when you get in a favorable count and not fouling hitters' pitches off, is where it went wrong for the Oilmen last night when they had just 4 hits and got blown out 11-0.
Yeah, and Enright's got a really good point there. If the hitters are seeing fastballs right down the middle, you got to find barrels. You can't just let them go by and foul them straight back, because that's just a strike for the pitcher there instead of making him pay for throwing a heater right down the middle.
Here's the first pitch to Curcio. It's in there for a strike, and the count 0-1.
And if you're a college student that's trying to make it to the next level, you have to be able to hit fastballs that are right down the middle. I don't care if it's a wood bat or a metal bat. That's a pitch you have to punish every time, no matter in what count.
The 0-1 is a ground ball over the first base bag and fair and rolling into the corner. Zarnacki around third. He will score. Oilmen lead 1-0. It's a double down the right field line. It's sliding in safely as Curcio at second. The Oilmen strike first as they make Troxel pay for 2 walks in this inning. Zarnacki comes in to score. Going to third, Cunha. And the Oilmen strike first. They lead the Corn Dogs 1-0.
And that's the first earned run against Troxel this year. And for Curcio, he just went down there and got it, put the barrel on it, positioned it perfectly over the head of Matthijs down the line, and the Oilmen are still threatening with 1 out at the bottom of the order.
Well, what an impressive streak for Ryan Troxel. 27 2/3 innings without allowing an earned run. That was before today. So then here's a ball that's looped down the right field line. This is just foul. It was actually fairly close. The count 0-1. So then you add an inning and a third. So overall, the streak ends up being at 29 innings even for Ryan Troxel.
And what a run it was from the right-hander. Go from in the bullpen to earning your right to be a starter, and he's really ran with it this season.
McCannon awaits the 0-1. This is high for a ball, 1-1. And we'll see if he can minimize the damage here in this inning as the Oilmen are thinking about a crooked number. The middle infield at medium depth. There's the 1-1. This is ball 2, 2-1.
The Troxel is just not locating the baseball right now. All of his fastballs are staying up. And when you get ahead behind in the count like this, then you're sitting on a fastball and you don't really think about his slider or changeup.
2-1 swung on and lifted in the air to right. Matalich is under it. He gloves it. Tagging at third is Cunha. The throw will go toward third. A strong throw. Cunha comes in and scores. It's a sacrifice fly for Tyler Famacanon, and the Oilmen have added on. It's 2-0 Oilmen.
Yeah, I bet that's going to make Adam Enright very happy. As you mentioned, he's looking to score runs and hit early in the count, especially fastballs, and capitalize when you have runners on base. And right there. You had the double, and you just get the run in on the sacrifice fly, and you're up 2-0. And for TJ Burdak, he's pitched really good through the first 2 innings, and now we'll pitch with the lead in the top of the 3rd.
Baker will stand in and take ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Baker. 2-0 Oilmen here in the bottom of inning number 2. Baker trying to add an inning that has already produced 2 runs with a piece of 2-out hitting. Here's the 1-0 from Troxel. This is upstairs for a ball, 2-0.
His fastball is just staying up. He's just not bending over and finishing. He's got to attack the knees and not leave it up just like that, because obviously Mike Clay's not going to call it if it's close.
Here's the 2-0. This is swung on and fouled out of play left side, and the count 2-1. A lot of times if a pitcher is peppering the zone, they'll maybe get the a little extended beyond the corners, but if you're struggling to throw strikes, you've got to prove yourself sometimes to get anything beyond the corners. 2-1 with 2 down. Here comes the pitch on the way. This is taken high for a ball, 3-1.
I've never seen Troxel struggle like this to throw a strike. It's not been this inning. He's got to try and end it right here before you come up with the heart of the order. And runners on first and second and 2 outs, because a double would score 2 runs because Baker's got really good speed.
3-1 to Chris. He swings and fouls it at the plate, and we go full at 3-2.
You see right there, that's what Enright was talking about. Baker earned himself a fastball right down the middle on the 3-1 count, and he just fouled it straight back. You have to be able to drive that ball and not let it go for a strike to the pitcher.
3-2. 2-0 Oilmen. Bottom of inning number 2. It was big to take an early lead tonight when you're facing the first place team after one of the worst games all season, let alone maybe in franchise history last night. 3-2 the count on Baker. To put that behind you with 2 early runs is huge here tonight. Here comes the set from Troxel and the payoff pitch on the way to Baker. He swings and misses for strike 3. He'll run it out down to first. Johnstone's throw to first will get Baker in the inning ends. The Oilmen settle for the 2 runs. They do it on 1 hit and 1 runner left on base. We've played 2. It's the Oilmen 2 and the Corn Dogs nothing on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Beach is just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Light. Well, mouth desert, meet ice cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. That's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home. The ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world. Keep America's railroads on the right track. Help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
Still talking about this bizarre game between the Generals and the Panthers here between innings. We told you earlier, in case you missed it, the Generals scored 9 times in the 5th inning. At that time, they took a 16-3 lead and had to be feeling pretty good about themselves. That was before they gave up 14 in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's continued to be a wacky game. It is now the Panthers 20 and the Generals 17 in the 7th inning out at Marion Catholic.
Yeah, if I'm the Generals, I'm trying to get down the field quickly, burn a couple timeouts, and kick the field goal to tie the game. Because with a football score like that, they must be playing football instead of baseball at Marion Catholic. I think the Crestwood Panthers have a better offense than the Carolina Panthers.
We'll keep a close eye on that ball game. Elsewhere, it's the Vikings 14 and the Giants 2. That game in the 7th inning as well out at Dowling Park. Here's a swing and a slow roller to the left side. Tough play. Running throw to first is Wild, and then advancing to second is the Wild on the Wild throw. Here comes the throw to second. That throws Wild, and that's backed up and left. It's a base hit here for Gavin Terry to lead off the 3rd inning, and then he goes to second on E5. Fon McCannon, tough play. It would have been a close play at first base, and they give Terry a single on a close call. And he goes to second on the Wild throw, and it is the second Oilman error of the game.
Well, that's good news for the Corn Dogs. They are down 2-0 after a good bottom of the second by the Oilmen. And now you have some good speed standing in scoring position with no outs. But this is a situation they had back in the first and didn't capitalize.
Here's the first pitch to Noble. It's a ground ball, foul, just foul down the first base line. And the count 0-1. It's close, Andrew.
Yeah, that was close. I thought it hugged the line. It was a fair ball, but Donovan Noble looked like he was fooled on a fastball. He tried to go the opposite way. It wasn't the best cut from Donovan Noble. I don't think he practiced that one, but let's see if he can straighten that one out.
No balls and a strike on Donovan, who struck out swinging against Burdak his first time. Here's a swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. Two nothing in favor of the Oilmen as we play inning number 3. Here's the 0-2. This is taken high for a ball, 1-2. First Corn Dog hit of the game a moment ago. One ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. A little tap up the middle. This is going to get through, and making the play behind second is Zebig. Now the throw home is going to be late. It gets away, and now advancing to second is going to be Noble. So scoring on the play from second base is Terry, and that makes it a 2-1 game. This is a base hit for Noble up the middle. Then a throwing error allows Noble to go to second base as the wild throw allows him to move up. But Terry scored on the initial play, and Noble gets an RBI on this, and it ends up being 2-1 in favor of the Oilmen after an unusual play. Ball got past Burdak. It was a tough play for the pitcher. And then the shortstop, Zebig, kept it on the infield, but still trying to score from second aggressively was Terry, and that led to the wild throw from Zebig.
Yeah, I think Gavin Terry thought that one had trickled into center field because he turned the corner and wasn't really hustling down the line. He was still running pretty fast and didn't know the ball was coming.
The pitch, a strike. Now, a good throw gets him, but you can't assume a good throw there, so it still goes as an RBI for Noble. And if a runner's trying to get a second base, he gets the benefit of that, even if there's a wild throw. But Noble does go to second on the error. Here's a swing and a miss, and the count 0-2 on Tyler Schultz.
Yeah, I don't think Zebig realized that Gavin Terry was going to go home. He just wanted to keep the baseball on the infield, and I think he was shocked by it. He was still rounding third and heading home, and he just threw the baseball off his back foot, and that's why it sailed to the backstop.
And the 0-2. This is low for a ball, and advancing to third safely here on a wild pitch is Noble.
Now, I know Phillips is new. Is this his first time working
Yes.
with Burdak?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it sometimes on some of the sliders and the curveballs to Phillips, as he's having a hard time adjusting to this new pitcher. And as more they work together and Phillips sees what his pitchers are going to do, he'll start being able to block him, keep in front of him.
Here's the 1-2. Swinging a little tap, foul. Thought it might get fair out in front of home plate, but barehanding it was Phillips. Count 1-2. Yeah, that is an adjustment period when you bring in a new catcher.
Especially when you have a guy that has a good movement on the breaking balls and not seeing him for the first time. As I would say, Burdak has a nasty combination of that slider and a curveball.
Here's the 1-2. This is taken high for a ball, 2-2. Tying run at third here. The Oilman middle infield is back. They'll concede that run on a ground ball.
I've also liked how Burdak keeps messing with the timing of not just the runners, but also the hitters. As he'll go quick to home, he'll lift the leg and go slow. Sometimes he'll stop, hesitate, then come home. And it's pretty much just like watching Johnny Cueto on the mound.
Here's the break even. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Burdak strikes out Schultz. A big strikeout with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. Second time he has turned that trick today. You're not out of the woods yet as it's only the first out of the inning, but a big K nonetheless.
Tyler Schultz, not known for striking out a whole lot this game, but both times he's been blown by the fastball from Burdak, and again, came at a really big time with the runner in scoring position.
Now it's Brett Mathias. Here's the first pitch to him. It's off the plate away for ball 1. About to hit 8 o'clock on AM 1230 WJOB or on Region Sports, Jed TV, Facebook Live. It's the Oilman Broadcasting Network. Good to have you with us. Brian Vickery, Andrew Mild. Here's the 1-0. It's taken for a strike, and it's 1-1. Corn Dogs trying to drive in the tying run. Burdak looking for perhaps another strikeout here, or anything that would prevent Noble from scampering across the dish. Here's the 1-1. This is swung on and lifted towards center. Pretty well hit. Baker's back on it. This should score the run. He gloves it. Tagging at third and scoring on the play will be Noble. And this ball game is tied at 2. Mathis a sacrifice fly to center. It's his 9th RBI of the year. Noble comes in and scores, and it's a 2-2 ball game.
Yeah, that's a really good approach from Mathis. He stayed back, got a breaking ball over the heart of the plate, and hit it hard in the center field, but the wind's blowing out the left, so it knocked it down a bit, and Baker's got some good speed, played him perfectly, and made the play. So the bases are empty with Doug Loden, and it might be a tied game, but the Oilmen got to be happy Loden's coming up with no one on base.
Sure, yeah, I was just going to mention that. You love to face him with 2 outs and nobody on, and he rips one through the right side, a base hit, a one-hopper through the infield and into the outfield grass between Zarnacki, the first baseman, and the second baseman, Marshall. It's a 2-out single for Loden. That'll bring up Ferry.
Yeah, Doug Loden, his story has really been him turning it around this year. He started off a little bit slow, and his batting average was pretty low, but it's because he only played 6 games when he was at JJC due to an injury. That's Joliet Junior College. But his average has climbed. He's gotten more RBIs, and he's hitting for power and hitting the ball a lot harder than he did early in the year.
This is swung on and crushed to right off the bat of Ferry. This ball is going to be up against the wall on one hop. It's extra bases for Ferry. Loden is going to get him the stop sign at third base. It's a 2-base hit for Ferry. Back-to-back hits here with 2 outs and 4 hits in the inning for the Corn Dogs. A few have not been hit all that hard, but that one was as it bangs off the Ironworkers Local 395 sign in right field for a 2-base hit.
If only Jake Ferry was right-handed and hit that one to the left side. He crushed it down the line, and it just looks as though that Burdak was going with a get-me-over fastball to start the at-bat, and Ferry was sitting on it, and he clubbed it hard down the line. And with Matalich coming up to the plate, he had a really good week before the All-Star break where he won the Player of the Week. We'd like to see him get back on track after he started off the second half 0 for 4.
Yeah, the biggest moment of this game has arrived with runners at second and third, and the ball game tied at 2 and 2 down in the inning. Here's Burdak's pitch. It's taken for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Two outs, and the Corn Dogs have already scored twice in this inning. The 1-0 taken for a strike on the breaking ball. The count evens at 1.
Yeah, you talked about Burdak working on throwing breaking balls and hitters counts. 1-0, he goes back to the breaking ball with confidence.
The 1-1 low for a ball. This one's snagged by Phillips to prevent a run, and the count 2-1.
Yeah, that's 3 straight breaking balls to start the at-bat. Expect him to go on the inside corner with a fastball because all of them have that movement away from the hitter, and if Matalich is sitting on a breaking ball, he'll get blown by the fastball, and if it comes out of the hand, the same.
Here's the 2-1. This is swung on and lifted in the air. Baker back on it in deep center. Baker still going back. He reaches up, and he is going to make the catch in deep center field. Baker takes a go-ahead extra base hit away from Matalich with a brilliant play in center as he runs it down in deep center field, and the inning ends. The Corn Dogs settle for 2 runs on 4 hits and leave 2 after 2.5. Oilmen 2, Corn Dogs 2 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
If you hire certified electrician contractors, you're getting the best. But just as important as our skill and expertise is our culture of safety. We know it's important to you, and we know it's important to them. Certified Electrician represents the NECA IBEW team, a team where safety and productivity go hand in hand. It's why our jobs finish on time and on budget. It's why owners that use us are repeat customers. Certified Electrician, working together, powering Northwest Indiana.
Wait! Let me help! Land of Frost! Premium meat! Delicious! And no byproducts!
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make a smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
Yes!
When it comes to Sunday, choose the right couch. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller time.
Safety isn't a list of boxes to check. It's taking the best technologies out there and adapting them to work for you. The ultrasound that can see inside patients can also detect early signs of corrosion at our refineries. High-tech military cameras that see through walls can inspect our pipelines to prevent leaks. Remote-controlled aircraft can help us identify potential problems and stop them in their tracks. At BP, Safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Back we are here at beautiful Oil City Stadium. Well, the Corn Dogs got 2 in the last half inning, but what a play by Chris Baker to take an extra base hit away and save 2 runs to end that frame.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel right to fly out the center for Hayden Matalich, who hit the ball extremely hard. But again, that's Chris Baker. He's played really good center field all year long, and all the years he's been with the Oilmen. He ran that one down. Didn't know if he caught it or not. And I think even some of the fans and umpires were in disbelief that he somehow ran that one down.
It was a very impressive catch, as Brennan Phillips will lead off the third for the Oilmen, who have found themselves now in a 2-2 tie with the Corn Dogs as the third inning gets underway. Troxel fires in a strike, and the count 0-1.
Well, after you get 2 runs in the top of the third, Troxel's got to bounce back, because really the only thing that hurt him in that last inning was the walks.
Here's the 0-1. Low for a ball, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
But I'm pretty confident in Troxel to make the adjustments he needs to make and find that release point in that fastball and throw more strikes to the Oilmen.
The 1-1 is a strike, and the count 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, the count on Phillips. Here's the pitch on the way. It's high for a ball, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, things are just not working for Troxel as they typically do, but this is when you're going to find out how tough a pitcher is when he doesn't have his best stuff.
Here comes the 2-2, swinging a ground ball left side base hit through the left side of the infield as it's out of the reach of Curiel. The third baseman kind of flailed the glove at it, but this goes as a single for Phillips to begin the third.
In between hop to Curiel at third base, he, as you said, frailed at it, and he really had no choice because it hit the front of home plate and took an in-between hop. He tried to make the play on it, but instead gets into the left field for a hit, and the Oilmen have the go-ahead run already on base for 3-4-5.
Marshall with a runner on first and nobody out. Here's the first pitch taken high for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. This is taken for a strike called. 1 ball and 1 strike on Marshall. Runner at first is Phillips. 2-2 the score as we play inning number 3. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a line drive foul onto the berm area, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Everybody is okay as a young fan will sprint after it. And he tracks down the baseball. Leadoff single here in this third for the Oilmen. That's their second hit of the game. It comes off the bat of Phillips. Here's the 1-2 to Marshall. It's low and outside for a ball, 2-2. This is the 9th meeting of the year between the Oilmen and the Corn Dogs. And there are 2 games remaining between these 2 teams in the regular season. And you never know, there could be a postseason matchup or 2 or 3 between these 2 teams. Here's the 2-2. It's a swing and a line drive to first. It's caught, and it's an unassisted double play. It's a hot smash at the first baseman, Mathies. He applies the tag on Phillips, and quickly there are 2 down and nobody on base.
Yeah, for Phillips, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because Brett Mathies is holding you on, and you're leaning off further than him. And as soon as Mathies just put the glove up and caught it, Phillips had no chance. The only way he was able to get back is if he was already heading back to first base as soon as the ball was hit, because it was hit hard, and Mathies was playing in a little bit.
Jack Zebig standing in, swinging a bouncing ball to the right side. This is fielded by Mathies. Underhand flip to Troxel, and now this is dropped by Troxel, and it's an error on the pitcher. So it goes as E1, credit and assist to Mathies, the first baseman, and then on the E1 muffed throw, safe at first, is Zebig.
Yeah, Mathies did everything right there. He made a nice, strong throw. It was just that Troxel didn't catch the ball. So sometimes you see that in football, the perfect route, the perfect ball, but just slipped right out of the hands.
So the Oilmen have extra life in this inning as Zarnacki will stand in next. The line drive double play a moment ago took the Oilmen out of business, but now a 2-out base runner on the E1. Here's the first pitch taken for a strike, and the count is 0-1. First corn dog error of the day a moment ago. There have already been 3 charged to the Oilmen. Here's the 0-1 to Zarnacki. It's taken for strike 2 call. They checked his swing, but the pitch was in the zone, and now ahead 0-2. Here's Troxel.
Good fastball and slider start the at-bat, working the outer edge. Would not be surprised if Troxel went to the changeup low in the dirt. That might set up the high fastball.
Runner goes, 2-strike pitch high for a ball. Throw to second is going to be not in time. Able to slide around the tag with Zebig. The ball beat him there, but he was able to maneuver around the tag of Noble, and he's safe with the stolen base.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of athleticism for Jackson Big, working around the tag of Noble. And that's twice where Johnston has had a nice throw to second base, but the Oilmen just beaten the throws just by a split second.
Now it's Zarnacki with a man in scoring position as he faces a 1-ball, 2-strike count. This is low for a ball. We go even at 2-2.
I like how this at-bat has gone for Troxel. Got ahead in the count, went to the high fastball, and then went to the low changeup. And 2 really good takes by Zarnacki, and we'll see what he goes to on the 2-2.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. This is swung on and lifted in the air to center. It's going to be caught in left center by Terry, and the inning comes to an end. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 runner left on base for the Oilmen in the third. After 3, it's the Oilmen 2 and the Corn Dogs 2 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Lite is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success. I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasting, bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost premium meat.
Back here at Oil City Stadium. Good ball game going on in front of us, but we can't stop talking between innings about the game going on between the Panthers and the Generals. The Generals scoring 6, by the way, in the top of the 7th to regain the lead. It is now the Joliet Generals 23 and the Crestwood Panthers 20 in the bottom of inning number 7 out at Marion Catholic.
Yeah, we were panicking up here because we thought they were going to go back to the 6th because the point streak had stopped the 7th, went back to the 6th inning in which the Panthers would then win the game. But after the Generals had captured the lead in the top of the 7th inning, but luckily it looks as though they're going to try and finish it out in the home half of the 7th for Crestwood.
If any of our fans followed everything that Andrew just said, then good for them, because that's I think a lot of people watching that game might be a little confused themselves after watching 43 runs cross the plate. Here's a swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. No balls and a strike, the count on Johnstone. But yes, we thought for a moment that maybe they had to revert back to the score at the beginning of the inning because we know darkness is going to be a factor there. But it appears they're in the bottom of the 7th and baseball is being played. There's a ground ball to the right side. Moving to his right is Marshall. He makes the play and throws to first in time. Johnstone is out number 1. 4-3, the putout goes. That's the first out of the 4th inning.
So now let me ask you this. What is the highest scoring game? I know you've mentioned it before for the Oilmen in their franchise's history.
Yes, they had the game back in 2012 against the DuPage County Hounds that they prevailed by a 22-10 score, but even that was nothing compared to the 23-20. I can't imagine scoring 20 runs and losing. Here's a pitch taken for a ball on the count 1-0, but the Panthers are facing that here today potentially if they cannot rally, which the way this game's gone, they probably will rally in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, they were every runner on second base, so the tying run's on deck.
Here's the 1-0. Swinging a ground ball left side foul. Here it's 2-2 in the 4th between the Oilmen and Corn Dogs. Again, this is the 9th of 11 meetings between the two teams. There is one game left out at Legacy Fields, and there's one game after tonight here at Oil City Stadium between these two, Oilmen and Corn Dogs. Here's the 1-1. This is swung on and lifted in the air right side. Underneath it is Marshall. The second baseman makes the catch, and that is the second out of the inning. But we'll see. It could be these two teams in a postseason matchup, either in the semifinal round, should the seeding switch based on what it is right now, or perhaps in the championship series.
And what a way to kick off the franchise of the Corn Dogs if that were the case, to get to the championship series against the premier team in the league over the last decade that have made it to the last 4 league championship series.
Gavin Terry takes low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The Corn Dogs do lead the season series with the Oilmen 5-3, so the Oilmen need to sweep all 3 of the remaining games to win the season series. The 1-0, look out, it's a wicked line drive up the middle. Ducking out of the way of it, thankfully, was Burdak. It goes as a base hit with 2 down for Gavin Terry, who has 2 hits today and is on base. Has been on base throughout the day, although not officially credited with reaching base in the first when he reached on an error.
Nice hit by Terry. I'm just happy that Burdak was able to get out of the way and not let that screaming liner catch him in the process.
2-2 the score as we play inning number 4. The Corn Dogs won the first 3 matchups of the season out in Crown Point. Since then, the Oilmen have won 3 of the last 5. However, the Corn Dogs lead the season series 5-3. This is low and outside for ball 1 on Noble. 1 ball and no strikes. Corn Dogs have won 9 of their last 11 games, Andrew, and the only 2 losses during that stretch, both coming to the Joliet Generals. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a foul at the plate, 1-1.
Yeah, and going into the All-Star break, they had won 15 of their last 20 games. So the Corn Dogs, sometimes teams start off to a hot start, but are they able to sustain it? But the story on the Corn Dogs thus far is they've been able to, and just had some tough losses to the hands of the Generals, who've been trying to turn their season around, and it looks as though they may pick up another win tonight.
Well, that could be a first-round matchup between these 2 teams, the Corn Dogs and the Generals, but the Generals stay hot. They could push the Oilmen for 3rd place in the Northern League standings. It appears the top 4 are in pretty good position to make the playoffs, with the Panthers and Giants trying to claw their way back. 1-2 on Noble. This is outside for a ball. 2-2. The Corn Dogs are 4 games ahead of the Vikings entering play tonight, and 6.5 ahead of the Oilmen. Corn Dogs are just far and away at the top, and they're well positioned to win the regular season title, but anything can happen come playoff time. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Out on strikes is Noble, and the inning ends. Burdak fans Noble, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for the Corn Dogs, I should say, in the 4th. After 3.5, 2-2 the score on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Go to the office. We build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Have a student headed to college this fall? If so, you probably have questions, and the best place to find answers is Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech is in your community and offers hundreds of options. Best of all, our tuition is a fraction of the cost of other colleges. Complete a free application today.
And we're back here in the bottom of the 4th inning, 2-2 the score. The line scores look like this. Corn Dogs, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Oilmen, 2 runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors for Northwest Indiana tonight. 0 placed on the board for Burdak in the top of this 4th inning, and now the Oilmen offense will try to get going. It'll be Scott, Cunha, and Curcio, 6, 7, and 8, against Ryan Troxel, who's back out for his 4th inning of work. He did yield 2 runs in the 2nd inning, but for the most part, it's been another solid day for the Corn Dog right-hander.
Yeah, and it's really been the story of Troxel just trying to find the strike zone. He had 1 bad inning. That was the bottom of the 2nd, but he just couldn't find the strike zone, and all it took was 1 double, just perfectly hit down the right field line to yield that first run against him all year as an earned run, and then a sacrifice fly to center field. So some good hitting by Tyler Fama Cannon with the runner on 3rd.
Emmanuel Scott leads off this inning. By the way, that final out of the 4th inning was the 6th strikeout of the day recorded by C.J. Burdak. So of the 12 outs for the Corn Dogs, half of them have come via the strikeout. Here's the first pitch taken low for a ball in the count. 1 ball and no strikes on Emmanuel Scott, who is making his Oilmen debut here tonight. He struck out his first time.
Happy to announce that score is finally final at Marion Catholic.
Swing and a miss. Do we know for sure they're not going to try to keep going?
I don't think at 8:20, the Corn Dogs were out in Marion Catholic yesterday. That game ended at 8:02 because of darkness. They're a quarter after that time.
0-1 the count here. This is taken low for a ball, 2-1. So we think that the Generals have beaten the Panthers by a score of 23-20. 2 balls and a strike the count. Here's the 2-1, swinging a ground ball foul, and Matt Vituli is able to almost snag this barehanded. He knocks it down, the Oilman assistant coach in the box at third, and the count goes to 2-2.
The fact he was able to knock that down to me was impressive. That ball was hit hard. Probably hurting a little bit.
Yeah, Vituli was a player in his day, not all that long ago. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the break-even swing and a miss. And that is out number 1. Scott has struck out twice. And pitching a little more to contact compared to Burdak, who has 6 of the 12 outs via strikeouts, is Troxel. As for him today, that is strikeout number 3. Josh Cunha standing in next. And we have confirmed that is a final, 23-20. Here's a strike and the count 0-1. Just another day in the Northern League. I have a feeling no one from that game will get pitcher of the week. Just a guess. There was one pitcher that allowed 14 runs that were earned in an inning and 2/3. That is probably not a top candidate.
I was kind of interested to see what the ERA was going to do, how much it was going to fluctuate after that appearance.
Guessing it'll go up a little bit as Cunha stands in with a count of 0-2. He walked and scored his first time. He was hit by a pitch twice yesterday in his Oilman debut. Here he takes a pitch that just misses for a ball, 1-2.
Yeah, nice at bat last time where he worked a walk against Troxel and then came around the score on the sac fly.
Sure, that made it 2-0 Oilmen, but the Corn Dogs have since tied it at 2, and here he swings and comes up empty. Back-to-back strikeouts as he swung over that one, and now 2 up and 2 down to begin the 4th.
Yeah, that's the old-fashioned changeup right there, and Troxel can throw that pitch relatively wherever he wants, and right there you saw it. He started off as a fastball, and then he was able to pull the chain off of it, and it was able to drop off, and it was a swing and a miss by Cunha right over the top, and 2 quick outs for Troxel.
Here's a swing and a flare down the left field line. This ball is going to land foul. A few Corn Dogs chasing after it, but they can't make the play, and it goes as a strike against Dom Curcio. Two game here, 4th inning from Oil City Stadium. Brandon Vickery, Andrew Mild, happy to have you along on the Oilman Broadcasting Network. Trying to strike out the side here is Ryan Troxel. No balls and a strike from Valpo native Ryan Troxel. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a tapper foul, and now he's ahead of Curcio, who singled and drove in a run his first time. It's no balls and 2 strikes this time on Dom.
Yeah, it was a low and in fastball. He just was able to drop the barrel on. It's really the nitro zone usually for left-handed hitters.
2-strike pitch is taken for a ball, and the count of ball and 2 strikes.
And he hit it a low liner just over the head of Mathias and then down the right field line. It opened up the scoring in this ball game and trying to give some momentum to the Oilmen. It was a really good at-bat, too.
Here's the 1-2 taken outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuce is wild here. 2-2 the score, 2-2 the count, and 2 outs here in the 4th. Here's Troxel's 2-2. This is swung on and lifted to shallow right center. It's going to get down for a base hit. A soft single for Dom Curcio. He's 2 for 2. And Fama Cannon will step up to the plate with 2 gone and 1 on.
Curcio has a really nice approach at the plate, and it's really showing tonight as he's been fouling off some tough pitches, not leaning out and allowing Troxel to get him out, but instead right there he stayed back and shot into right center. It was a perfect swing and perfectly placed baseball.
Now it's Famakanen. He looks at a strike, and it's 0-1. He drove in a run with a sac fly his first time. No official at bat for Tyler as of yet in this one. 0-1. Here's the next pitch. This is swung on and lifted in the air, right side. Mathies is underneath it, and he gloves it, and the inning ends. A foul fly off the bat of Famakanen for the final out. No runs, a hit, and one left for the Oilmen in the fourth. Leo will have it for you when we come back. It's the Oilmen 2 and the Corn Dogs 2 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
It's just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Lite. Well, mouth desert, meet ice cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. Let's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home, the ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world, keep America's railroads on the right track, help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
Safety isn't a list of boxes to check. It's taking the best technologies out there and adapting them to work for you. The ultrasound that can see inside patients can also detect early signs of corrosion at our refineries. High-tech military cameras that see through walls can inspect our pipelines to prevent leaks. Remote-controlled aircraft can help us identify potential problems and stop them in their tracks. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Welcome back to Oil City Stadium. Leo Stodker and Andrew Mild with you here as the Oilmen will go to their bullpen here for the start of inning number 5. Logan Strutz, the right-hander, will take the mound. Strutz, a record of 1-0 on the season in 9 appearances. He started 3 games, throwing 20 innings, striking out 25, walking 22. His last inning of work came against the Southland Vikings on the 14th. He won an inning in that frame, allowing 2 hits, 1 walk, striking out 1. Strutz has been someone that's been using a variety of roles for the Oilmen this season. The key for him is going to be about limiting those walks as he is deposited into a game here where we're deadlocked at 2. As we're about to start inning number 5, he'll be facing Schultz, Mathies, and Loden, the 1-2-3, to start this frame.
Yeah, the Corn Dogs have only faced Strutz 1 time this year, so this is really the first time they've ever got to dwell into his numbers. But when you have 22 walks for 20 innings, you're not doing yourself any favors this season. That's a opposing batting on base percentage correction of .441.
It was really 1 or 2 big frames that inflated those walk totals, as that's up there, or made it a bigger walk numbers, as he had 6 against the American Giants on July 7th, 5 against the Generals on June 22nd. So those big innings really hurt his totals, as that's inside for ball 1, even to count at 1-1. So, but there have been nights when he's really on, and he's got some good command over his pitches, so it'll be interesting to see how his pitches look after he hasn't thrown in a little over a week now, or 7 days exactly, here against the Corn Dogs. It's the count after that one's fouled away, so they'll make the count 1-2.
Yeah, and you really also look at his ERA. It might be at 7.2, but really 10 of the runs that he's allowed have come in just 2 appearances.
That's the thing with pitcher stat lines sometimes. Sometimes those could be really deceiving. 1 or 2 bad performances are all it takes. So that's low and away for ball 2. And then you're just kind of trying to make do of the numbers that you have at this point in the season. But Strutz comes into a game where you're tied in the 5th inning against the league's top team. You really can't worry about numbers at this point, as this is cracked over to third base. Famakanen handles it, throws over, and that will pull Zarnacki off the bag, but he steps off and applies the tag for out number 1. No harm done there, as Schultz is a ground-out victim to start off the 5th inning here.
Yeah, ERA you have to take very loosely when it comes to a reliever. sometimes you can lock down guys who are going to have a low ERA, but also you may have a guy that had one really bad appearance where he allowed 5 or 6 runs, and relief pitchers don't typically get too many opportunities to lower that number.
Strutz's first pitch to Brett Mathies is low for ball 1. Mathies walked back in the first inning and had a sacrifice fly in the third inning. That drove in a run. Now he comes to the plate looking for his first hit of the game. That's low for ball 2.
So for me, if I had to evaluate a relief pitcher, it's how many scoreless outings have they had this season, and if they're off, what has been the reasoning behind it?
Now Strutz settles in on the mound, kicks and fires towards the plate. That one's there for a strike, grabbing the inside edge of the zone. Strutz had some good innings, some scoreless frames of work early in the season, and there's a couple of bad ones that have inflated those numbers, but now he's looking to bounce back here as he gets one in for strike 2. The count will even up 2 apiece here. Facing the left-handed hitting Mathies, playing first base tonight. I'm going to have a little bit of a shift over on the right side of the diamond with Marshall playing pretty far to his left. As that's high for ball 3, we'll go full here.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed watching the defensive alignment of the Oilmen because the outfield usually doing something different than the infield. You see Baker all the way in left center, and then you mentioned Marshall's playing towards first base.
Now the payoff pitch. That one inside for ball 4. That will send Mathies over to first base. Also at the point of the season, too, where the teams start to get a familiarity with each other, you know some guys' tendencies that you might not at the beginning of the year. You can kind of get a feeling on where you can deploy your players best to accommodate that, as now the ever-dangerous Doug Loden steps in the box here. Loden had a single in the third inning and walked back in inning number 1. He comes to the base with 1 out and a man on. So lefty on righty matchup as the right-hander Strutz throws towards Loden. Swing and miss for strike 1.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because you have to have that scouting report ready going into the game and really study these guys because you can't just go online on Point Streak and look at the spray charts of every player because that's not charted in this league. And you see a lot of college and MLB teams are incorporating that into their strategies.
And the 0-1 to Loden. This one's put in the air. Foul territory. This goes on to the concourse here for strike 2. The guy at the plate here, Doug Loden, he's someone, as Brandon alluded to earlier, players in the league know him. They know how to defend him, and you have to watch for those long shots from him.
Yeah, and Marshall, now he's really shifted to the left side towards first base as Doug Loden has pull power, and teams have found that out, and teams are attacking him outside with fastballs or breaking balls.
Here comes the 0-2 from Strutz. One's away outside for ball 1. Yeah, I don't think Loden's going to see too many fastballs in the zone from this point on. As even before the All-Star game, everybody in the league kind of knew that he was a dangerous hitter. As he was a really good player on the Minutemen last season, a team that struggled, but he was a standout for them. The 1-2 from Strutz, tapped away foul by Loden. He'll stay alive here. And now to see him play for a good team, really get to flourish here. It's great to see what playing for a winning team can do to a player because he's really taken centerfold for this team.
Yeah, and I talked to him, and I asked him when he first took the lead for home runs, I said, how does it feel to be leading the league in homers? And he said, well, I did last year. It's just people don't really remember that. He said, I did until I got injured and was out for the rest of the year.
The 1-2. Checking on it is Loden. He did not go all the way. The appeal. That will be ball 2. Count evens up at 2s apiece. That's the thing where the construction with the Corn Dogs this season, they went for a lot of players that were veterans of the old MCL, the new Northern League, and Loden was a good diamond and rough type player from the last place team, Minutemen, putting him now on this team, someone that they've been able to really kind of build around, and he's helped them take off. And he puts this one in the air towards right center field. Going back for it is Curcio towards the wall. That drops on the warning track. Mathies is getting on his horse, going to third base. He won't stop there. The relay throw coming in towards Phillips. The tag not in time, and the throw over to third. And Loden will be tagged out, but a run scores on that. So the Corn Dogs now take the lead 3-2. I believe that would be a double for Loden. He was thrown out going for third there. Scores a run. As the throw to Phillips looked like maybe there was going to be a play at the plate, but he was a little off his mark, and then he wisely threw over to third base, where Famakanen was able to apply the tag on Loden. So now the base pads are clear. There's 2 outs, and the Corn Dogs lead by 1 here in the top of the 5th inning.
Doug Loden had the right idea. They were going for third base. I thought for sure that Phillips was going to turn around and apply the tag because it was going to be a close play, but he wisely just fired over to third and got the for sure out.
Now Strut's throwing to Ferry here, who puts it in the air. This is kind of hit towards second base, right field. Curcio, the right fielder, makes the play, calling off Marshall for out number 3. And the Corn Dogs are able to increase their run total to 3 here. After 5.5, they lead 3-2. The Oilmen will try to answer, so stick around for the bottom of the 5th inning. That's next on Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Lite is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success. I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted, bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded. Make the smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
These natural gas teams use smart app technology to share data from any well instantly, so they can analyze trends and stop potential problems in their tracks, because safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Leo Stoddacher, Andrew Mild back with you here for the bottom of inning number 5. The Corn Dogs took the lead in the top half of this inning, and now they're making a defensive substitution. Scott Hansen comes in to man center field, replacing Gavin Terry. It's now Chris Baker, the Oilman center fielder, will lead things off. It'll be Baker, Phillips, and Marshall, the 1-2-3 here for the Oilmen as they look to try to tie the game. Baker so far today 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. He made a great catch earlier in the game. Now he's looking to match that with some highlights at the plate. Facing Troxel still. Takes one low for ball 1. As the Oilmen went to their bullpen to start the 5th inning, but the Corn Dogs are still rolling with their guy, Ryan Troxel, on the mound.
Yeah, I just saw Carter Sakamoto.
And Baker cracks this towards center field, towards the newly deployed Hansen, going back on it towards the warning track. He loses his balance, and that hits the dirt. Baker's going for 3. He stays put there. That will be a leadoff triple for Chris Baker. Hard hit off the bat. Looks like Hansen had a tough job getting a read on it as he was running on his back, and I think that might have hit the ground before he made a play on it. And that allows Baker to get 90 feet away from home plate with just one swing of the bat.
Yeah, and the wind really played a factor there. Hansen got a good beat on the baseball, went a long ways, but that wind just carried it to his left and sliced away from his glove as Hansen tried to make a very tough grab where you're running backwards and you're trying to catch the ball going to your left, coming from across your body. And for Baker, that's a triple, as Baker has tortured the Corn Dogs plenty this season. And he hit a home run against Troxel in a previous ball game.
So now Brennan Phillips steps in the box. He takes one low for ball 1. Phillips had a single in the 9th inning in last night's game. That was one where they were already down 11-0, and he was still taking a competitive at-bat in the bottom of the 9th. And he's also added a single today. He's looking to make it a 2-hit game, as that's low for ball 2. We were discussing that on the broadcast, how that's good for the players still competing in the bottom of the 9th inning, because when you're looking college coaches, scouts, they don't necessarily care that your team lost 11-0. They're looking at your stat line. How many hits, how many walks did you have? Low for ball 3. They want to see a player still taking those at-bats and putting up stats. So it doesn't matter if you got a single when your team was already down 11-0. You can still report back to your college coach. You had a hit in the game and other notes to go with it. So he's ahead 3-0 in this count. Takes one inside, or on the inside edge of the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, and just also being a scout, the mindset of coming into the game you're watching, and it's 11-0 game.
Troxel's 3-1, chopped over, fouled third baseline, so they'll make the count 3-2.
You start looking into the dugout, and you start looking at the guys when they come up to the plate. Are they moping? Are they down on themselves? Are they just trying to get through the rest of the game? And the guys that are going to stand at the very top of the dugout and cheer on their team and come up, the mindset of, you know what, it might be 11-0. I'm going to try and get on base and try to get my team back into the game. As we saw today, 14 runs were scored in one inning. It's now the mindset that the team scored 11.
Now the payoff pitch from Troxel, and Phillips chops this one back up the middle of the diamond over to Schultz at shortstop. He throws over the first, but Baker comes across the plate and scores. So Phillips grounds out, but it scores a run. The Oilmen tie things back up at 3 here.
Yeah, Phillips, good idea. Just hit it right back up the middle, and Schultz made a great play, but you scored the tying run, and with 2 strikes and no outs, he did his job and tied the game right back up.
Good job by Troxel battling back into that at-bat as David Marshall comes into the box. He was victim of that line-out double play his last time up in the 3rd inning. He also recorded a walk in inning number 1. His first pitch of this at-bat takes one for ball. The count moves to 1-0. You can see Phillips picking up where he left off a little bit after he got a single in the 3rd inning and an RBI here in the 5th. Marshall fouls this away on the left side of the concourse, evens the count up at 1-1. That's the thing, too. If you get a hit in the 9th inning of a game you're losing, maybe that good thing about baseball is you get a chance the next day. So if you finish a bad game on a high note, you can maybe start a new one on that same note as Marshall takes one inside for strike 2. Count is 1-2.
And we've seen even this year in the major leagues, baseball can be a really funny game, and I'll say why in a second.
Troxel's 1-2, away for ball 2.
Look at Vladimir Guerrero. He had a game against the Yankees where he hit 3 home runs and went 4 for 4 on the day. Next day he comes back and he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Completely flip in any given day, and that's what the fun part about baseball is. You never know what you're going to see and who's going to perform.
Troxel's 2-2 towards the plate, swing and a miss for strike 3. That's the thing, too. Baseball certainly has a way about humbling players where you can never stay on top of your game for too long before you all of a sudden get reminded that even the best players fail 7 out of 10 times, where if you have a 300 average, that's considered good, and that still means you have a higher failure rate than success rate, and you have to get up there and keep trying.
How many times have you seen a guy throw a perfect game, and the next start he's out by the 3rd because he gave up 7 runs? I mean, look at Philip Humber. He had 1 perfect game, and that was really the highlight of his career.
Jack Ziebig takes a ball from Troxel. Yeah, that's the thing, too, when you break down stats like that. Sometimes the perfect games, plays like that, happen on the days we're not even expecting it, too. The 1-0 to Ziebig. He sends this one out towards center field in the air. Moving towards it is Hansen. That drops between Hansen and Ferry in left center. Ziebig will get a stand-up double there with 2 away. Just a nice lofting ball out towards left center. And that gives the Oilmen life with 2 outs here.
Yeah, the Oilmen trying to wear out the left center field part of the outfield because of that wind. That wind, again, it wasn't hit it was hit hard, but the wind carried it away from Scott Hansen because of the spin from a left-handed hitter. And there's not really much that Ryan Troxel can do. It was a good pitch up and away, and because of the conditions tonight, the Oilmen are benefiting because even their triple to lead off the inning came from the wind slicing the ball away from Scott Hansen, who comes into the game and has to run about a country mile out there.
How about that for Hansen? You come into the game and you've already had 2 hits out towards you. Sometimes when you get dropped in the game, maybe you want an inning, a half inning to just get used to the feel out there, but now he's getting thrown right into the fire as the Oilmen are just peppering everything out towards him so far in this 5th inning. And now Kyle Zarnacki comes into the box with a man on, 2 away. Zarnacki walked and scored back in the 2nd inning. His first pitch from Troxel, swing. He chops that one foul over along the 3rd baseline. So he'll start off 0-1 here. He flew out to center. That was when Terry was still out there back in the 3rd inning. Now he is facing Troxel for the 3rd time this evening. Oilmen tied things up at 3 runs apiece after a RBI ground out by Phillips. Oilmen added 2 in the 2nd inning. Then the Corn Dogs answered with 2 in the 3rd. Lake County took the lead back in the top of the 5th inning. Now in the bottom, the Oilmen have tied it up as Zarnacki takes a strike there to make the count 0-2.
And for Ryan Troxel, he's just trying to leave it all out there. He's coming towards the end of his day, almost to 100 pitches, so he's just trying to close it out here and at least get to the 6th with the tie game, and hopefully the Corn Dogs' bats can stay hot and whoever comes out of the bullpen can perform.
So now he stares down Zarnacki for the 0-2 pitch, takes a look over to the runner on second, sends this one over. Zarnacki finds a gap between third base and shortstop. Now moving around third base is Ziebig. He's going towards the plate, and he will get there. The Oilmen take the lead right back after that RBI single from Kyle Zarnacki.
that's really been the type of day for Ryan Troxel. He's been throwing some good quality pitches, and the Oilmen, they hit some into the wind that carried right for him, and then just a chopper to the left side. They got its way through because of Schultz holding on the runner at second base and Curiel staying closer to third. It's just some good hitting by Zarnecki and got his team in the lead.
Now the Corn Dogs will bring the infield in. They'll have a meeting on the mound, potentially just buying time for the bullpen to get up and active. The Oilmen had 4 hits throughout the entirety of last night's game. They have 6 in this game, not to mention 3 in this inning alone. It's the thing we were just talking about baseball, where you can rebound quickly. The Corn Dogs are charged a mound visit there. The Oilmen taking one in tough 11-0 fashion last night to the American Giants, now bouncing back here against the Corn Dogs. This has been a good fight. It seems like both teams are answering each other punch for punch throughout this game.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to see, especially in baseball, and two teams that have played some pretty tight games against one another.
Manuel Scott steps into the box, takes a first pitch ball from Troxel. He walked, scored in the second inning, struck out in the fourth. Now he's facing Troxel in the fifth inning, as it looks like the Corn Dogs will get somebody up and throwing in their left field bullpen. Now the 1-0 as Zarnecki was heading over to second base, grounded over towards third base. The throw is not in time. Mattheis tries to scoop it, but it looked like Scott beat it out before it even got to his glove. Going from first to third on the play is Kyle Zarnecki, a well-executed hit and run by the Oilmen.
Yeah, Curiel did everything he could, but the baseball hugged the line, went over the bag. Curiel fielded the ball, made a nice strong throw over the first, but the speed from Scott legs it out and continues the inning, as Troxel just can't catch a break right now.
Now the Oilman right fielder, or the Oilman designated hitter, Josh Cunha steps into the box here with 2 away, runners on the corners. The Oilmen lead 4-3 here. That's Zarnecki on third base, Scott on first. Troxel floats in a ball up high, make the count 1-0. So now the Oilmen threatening with 2 outs here, as Ziebig had the big double with 2 away, and Zarnecki drove him home. Cunha fouls this one high on the first base side. Camping under it is Mattheis for out number 3. So the Oilmen score a pair and take back the lead here in the bottom of inning number 5. After 5, it's the Oilmen 4 and the Corn Dogs 3. We'll be back for the 6th inning up next on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Go to the office. We build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Have a student headed to college this fall? If so, you probably have questions, and the best place to find answers is Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech is in your community and offers hundreds of options. Best of all, our tuition is a fraction of the cost of other colleges. Complete a free application today.
Safety isn't a list of boxes to check. It's taking the best technologies out there and adapting them to work for you. The ultrasound that can see inside patients can also detect early signs of corrosion at our refineries. High-tech military cameras that see through walls can inspect our pipelines to prevent leaks. Remote-controlled aircraft can help us identify potential problems and stop them in their tracks. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Back at Oil City Stadium with Andrew Mild, Brandon Vickery back with you. Leo Staudaher and David Bork are with us as well. We go to inning number 6. It's the Oilmen 4 and the Corn Dogs 3 after the Oilmen rearranged the scoreboard by scoring twice in the last of the 5th inning. First pitch of the 6th is a strike to Matalich, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. There's a new pitcher on the mound, and it's a left-hander. Mike Burness is in for the Oilmen. Here's the 0-1. This is taken high for a ball, 1-1. Strutz goes 1 inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, no strikeouts. He's in position for the win if this score holds, as the Oilmen have taken a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Working quickly as Burness, and he falls behind 2-1. Left-hander Burness. The Oilmen acknowledging before the game that this is a crucial point in the game. Can they get some zeros and some quality innings out of the bullpen in the middle of the ball game? This is swung on and lifted foul right side. In the count 2-2. Burness could very well be a crucial part of whether or not the Oilmen win the game or not here tonight.
You come into the top of the sixth after your team just scored 2 runs on some very good hitting, I might add, to get the lead. And Oilmen trying to get a crucial win tonight, as you mentioned, after yesterday's loss.
Here's a 2-2. This is lined foul right side over near the Oilmen bullpen. The Oilmen with 4 hits in that 5th inning, including extra base knocks by Baker and Zebik. That allows them to take a 4-3 lead, and they're now out-hitting Lake County 7-6. 2-2. Matalich swings and grounds it toward third. This is backhanded by Fama-Cannon. He throws high to first, and it's going to be an error on the Oilman third baseman as Matalich reaches first safely. Fama-Cannon juggled it slightly, but the real issue was the throw. He still had time to get Matalich at first base, but the wild throw creates the 4th Oilman error of the day.
He did everything right. I just think they didn't get on top of the baseball when he threw it across the diamond. That's why it sailed. And made a really tough play for Zarnecki. And really his job at that point is just to knock down the baseball and make sure it doesn't go up the line and allow the Corn Dogs to get an extra base.
Now Johnstone shows bunt and takes ball 1. Leadoff base runner here for Lake County in the 6th inning. Oilmen hold a 4-3 lead, but we know this game could end up seesawing back and forth a few more times before it's all said and done. 1-0, swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Again, the Northern League scoreboard, the Vikings have beaten the Giants by a 14-2 score. The 14 runs scored there by Southland was nothing compared to the Generals-Panthers matchup with Joliet beating Crestwood 23-20. Here's the 1-1. It's taken low and outside for a ball, 2-1. So the Vikings win. The two teams here both want to win to keep pace. The Corn Dogs want to maintain their lead over the Vikings. The Oilmen want to maintain the deficit without seeing it get any larger for second against Southland. Here's a swing and a miss. Going too far with Johnstone. It's 2-2.
And with the Corn Dogs only having, I believe it's only 2 more games against the Vikings this year, they won't get too many opportunities to play them and build a lead by beating them and taking the win at the same time and just chipping away at that magic number.
Here's the 2-2. Swinging a ground ball right side, slowly hit, base hit right field. This sneaks through the right side of the diamond to second safely as Matalich, and Johnstone has himself a soft single to right field.
Yeah, Johnson had some pretty good at-bats earlier in the game. I didn't think that they were bad swings. I just think that he was just getting right on top of them and finding the middle infielders. That one he still got on top of it. He just got the benefit of it, finding no man's line out in right field.
Oilman bullpen's going to stay hot here as the Corn Dogs with runners at first and second, nobody out against Burness. Here's a swing and a miss, an aggressive hack and a tip into the mid of Phillips off the bat of Curiel.
They're looking for the cardiac kid to get a hit in this game. He hasn't looked too comfortable at the plate thus far.
No balls and a strike on him. He shows bunt. It's back toward the mound. Burness is going to have one play. That's at first base, and he gets the out at first. It's a sacrifice bunt. 1, 2, 3. The put out goes as give Curiel the sack bunt. Runners move up to second and third, and now a base hit could give the Corn Dogs the lead.
That's a great bunt, and I'm going to have to double check this fact. I believe that's the first sacrifice bunt by a Corn Dogs hitter this year.
Wow, that would really be something. It'd be a good time for it, an appropriate time for Curiel. This is taken low and in for a ball. 1-0 on Scott Hansen batting for the first time today.
There is just one sack bunt this year. That was number 2.
1-0, the count on Hansen. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a ground ball left field base hit. The game is tied. Johnstone gets the stop sign at third. He will hold there on the single to left off the bat of Scott Hansen in his first plate appearance of the day. This is an unearned run as Matalich comes in and scores, and the ball game is tied at 4.
Yeah, I was hanging out in the dugout before the game today, and when Scott Hansen rolled in, I said, you got 6 hits in the first 2 games of the second half of the year, and he just smiled and said it's about time because he really turned it around in the last 2 games, and that hit right there extends his hitting streak to 6.
Noble takes inside for ball 1. Hansen driving in the run as well. Give him an RBI on the single. And this ball game is tied at 4. Hallberg gave the stop sign at third with 1 away in this inning. Here's the 1-0 to Noble, swinging a tap foul. Earlier, Hallberg gave the stop sign to Brett Mathias. He ran right through it and then scored as that throw came to the plate. It looked like Phillips could have had a chance to apply the tag on Mathias, but he didn't do it. Instead, he threw to third and cut down Loden for a, I believe, 9-4-2-5 putout. Here's the 1-1. High for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike after Loden had doubled and tried to go to third on the throw.
I think Phillips made a really good decision. He had to make a quick decision. He goes, I'm either have to try to get the tag, in which case it'll be a close play, or throw out the runner at third and it'll be confirmed out.
2-1, swinging a ground ball toward third. The throw's going to go to second. There's one. The relay throw to first is not in time, and a run scores. This goes as an RBI for Noble, 5-4 on the fielder's choice. Out at second is Hansen for the second out of the inning. Give Noble his second RBI of the day and 9th of the season as Johnstone comes in and scores, and the Corn Dogs have regained the lead. Back and forth we go. It's Lake County 5 and the Oilmen 4.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that, how this game has gone thus far. You come to Oil City Stadium, these two teams, you expect something just like this. Back and forth we go.
Noble at first now for Tyler Schultz. Here's the pitch from Burness. Swung on and lifted foul off to the right and out of play. So on this date in Oilman history, the Oilmen split a doubleheader against the Chicago Zephyrs back in 2013, 9 years ago today, but the significant occurrence was at the time a record-setting RBI for Nick Bartolone. Here's the 0-1, swinging a foul out of play. Bartolone actually went to a school you may have heard of, Andrew, Butler, and he drove in an Oilman and MCL at the time record 33rd run of the season in that doubleheader to take the league record that was eventually shattered. It's now Tristan Welch of DuPage County with 52. And the Oilman record is now Jackson Dvorak with 37. Here's a swing and a miss. Runner was in motion, but with 2 strikes and 2 outs, Schultz strikes out swinging, and the inning ends. But not before the Corn Dogs score twice. They do it on 2 hits and leave 1. After 5.5, it's the Corn Dogs 5 and the Oilmen 4 in the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
It's just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Lite. Well, mouth desert, meet ice cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. Let's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home. The ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world. Keep America's railroads on the right track. Help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Corn Dogs have grabbed the lead again. It's 5-4 in favor of Lake County. There's a new pitcher on the mound. It's a left-hander, Jake Tomitz. Tomitz takes over here for Ryan Troxel. Troxel's day was done after 5 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He it appeared a moment ago might be on the hook for the loss, but let's reverse that. He's now in position for the win here today, but again, this could go back and forth several more times, and he could end up getting no decision. Your thoughts, Andrew, on the day for Ryan Troxel?
You know, Ryan Troxel, for his control, get ahead in counts and inducing swings and misses, but today he just wasn't getting that. It didn't seem as though he was confident in attacking the strike zone, and that's what led to the 3 walks and the 6 hits. Is the Oilman had some really good approaches and knew that he was struggling to find the strike zone, and sometimes he was going to have to lay a fastball over the heart of the plate, and they were able to drive it into left center. So I've been really impressed with the approach from the Oilman today. And for Troxel, I give him a pat on the back because he battled without his best stuff tonight and still has his team in position to win the game.
Yeah, the 4 earned runs, the first 4 earned runs charged to him all season, and he, going into today, was the favorite and remains a strong candidate for Northern League Pitcher of the Year here in 2022. This is outside for a ball. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Curcio. 2 for 2 is Curcio. Here comes the 1-0 from the left-hander. Swing and a dribbler in front of home plate. This is picked up by Johnstone, and he throws out Curcio, but Art Garcia says it hit off the body of Curcio. Curcio never moved. He felt it hit his body. Mike Clay said the ball was fair, and Curcio never left the batter's box, but fortunately enough for the Oilmen, Art Garcia saw it from beyond first and calls it a foul ball.
I like what the umpires did there. They communicated, as Mike Clay wasn't sure if it hit him or not, so he let the play go on and then let the base umpire dictate if it's a fair or foul.
Here's the 1-1, taken for a strike, and it's 1-2.
But I have to agree, it was foul. It did hit his lead leg.
Tomit's the lefty facing the left-handed batting Dom Curcio, who's seeking a third hit today. Here's the 1-2. Low and outside, 2-2.
That's a really good pitch. You just spun the breaking ball on the outer edge on the previous pitch, and you go back to it, but you throw it a couple more inches off the plate and see if you get lefty on lefty crime, a swing and a miss.
Here comes the 2-2. Taken high for ball 3. We go full at 3-2.
With the way this game's going, you don't want to lose them after you're ahead in the count 1-2. But Curcio, out of the 8-hole, he's had a really good day.
Yeah, 2 hits. He's driven in a run. Hitting just 198, but he's drawn 22 walks this season. The payoff pitch. Here he dribbles one to the right side off the inside part of the bat. Tough play. A glove hand shovel. What a play by Noble as he nips Curcio at first base. I was a split second away from saying this will be a base hit when Noble charged in with his glove, flipped it to Mathias, and that's the first out of the 6th inning.
Yeah, that's some fancy glove work from Donovan Noble. He had to go a long way against a speedy Curcio who's left-handed, so he's closer to the first base, and he gloved it and got rid of it quickly, and luckily for him, it was right at the chest of Mathias and got the first out.
Homestand continues tomorrow night. The Generals will be here. It is Police and Fire Night at the ballpark. This is taken low for a ball. And then we'll round it out with the Panthers in town for the first time all season at Oil City Stadium on Saturday night. It's 7:10 tomorrow for Friday Night Lights at the ballpark, and then we will have a 6:10 start as the Oilmen and Panthers collide on Saturday. Here's the 1-0, taken high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, hopefully tomorrow's game against the Generals is different than the game the Generals had today against the Panthers.
Yes.
You guys might be here all night.
2-0 on Famacanon. Yeah, there's lights here. We have no such issue of calling the game early. Here's a tapper foul. Count 2-1. At least it is a Friday. We'll work the following day for many folks. 5-4 the score here in favor of the Corn Dogs. Bottom of inning number 6. Get some beat the Bork here. Here comes the 2-1. This is taken high for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Are you ready for it tonight?
I didn't get the question ahead of time, so we'll see if I am. You never know when you play Beat the Bork.
Jose Ramirez had his second multi-homer all-star game this week. Here comes the 3-1. This is taken for a strike, and the count goes full at 3-2. Who holds the all-time record for most multi-homer all-star games?
Ooh. So this is just one.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss by Famacanon, and that is the second out. Famacanon is out swinging, and now 2 gone and nobody on here for Chris Baker.
So let me explain how I'm going to think about this. I know back when Willie Mays and Hank Aaron were playing in the 50s and 60s, they would play 2 all-star games in the same year.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's a guy from that day and age. So I'm going to go with Hammer and Hank in this one.
It is not Hank Aaron, as Baker stands in next. 5-4 in favor of the Corn Dogs as we play bottom of inning number 6. This is taken high for a ball. Beat the Bork Trivia Challenge. Leo beat the Bork last night with the answer of Starlin Castro. And the question last night, should we play Jeopardy? Do you want to guess what the question was based on the answer? Here comes the 1-0. This is swung on and lifted the other way, but it's going to be caught by the shortstop Schultz. Back to that when we come back. A smooth 1-2-3 inning for Tomitz out of the bullpen of Lake County as the Oilmen fail to score in the 6th. On to the 7th. 5-4 Corn Dogs on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
you hire certified electrician contractors, you're getting the best. But just as important as our skill and expertise is our culture of safety. We know it's important to you, and we know it's important to them. Certified Electrician represents the NECA IBEW team, a team where safety and productivity go hand in hand. It's why our jobs finish on time and on budget. It's why owners that use us are repeat customers. Certified Electrician, working together, powering Northwest Indiana.
Wait! Let me help! Land of Frost! Premium meat! Delicious! And no byproducts!
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make a smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
Yes!
When it comes to Sunday, choose the right couch. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller time.
Safety isn't a list of boxes to check. It's taking the best technologies out there and adapting them to work for you. The ultrasound that can see inside patients can also detect early signs of corrosion at our refineries. High-tech military cameras that see through walls can inspect our pipelines to prevent leaks. Remote-controlled aircraft can help us identify potential problems and stop them in their tracks. At BP, safety is never being satisfied and always working to be better.
Back at Oil City Stadium, where there's a new pitcher on the mound. Cam Nohos is on to pitch for the Oilmen here in inning number 7. 5-4 in favor for the Corn Dogs. Nohos will look to keep it right there. Mike Burness exits after 1 inning. He allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. Both runs were unearned. He walked none and struck out 1. As it stands right now, Burness is on the hook for the loss as we take it to the 7th. And again, it's 5-4 in favor of the Corn Dogs. It's a Beat the Board Trivia Challenge. Last night, the question was, who was the last player to have multiple stolen bases in the All-Star game? And the answer was Starlin Castro in 2011. And now David Bork is going to try to defend his home turf here after Andrew guessed Hank Aaron a moment ago for the record for multiple home run All-Star games. Or All-Star game, yes. As the final few warm-up tosses being completed here by Nohos.
I think someone's warming up in the bullpen for the Corn Dogs. Look at all the young fans down the left field line peering over.
Yes. They tend to do that here at Oil City Stadium, just begging for a ball.
That's a really tough question.
Yes.
For multiple home run All-Star games. Because I think it's because of it, because the All-Star game is really just an exhibition. So sometimes it's hard to see who performed well. More or less just, all right, we made the game, and you're an All-Star. And that really goes into their what may make or break them going into the Hall of Fame.
As it'll be Brett Mathias to lead off the 7th inning.
The fun part about the All-Star game this year was them being mic'd up. That was pretty cool.
Here comes the pitch on the way, taken for a strike. I didn't catch a ton of it, but happy for Joe Davis, who's a great broadcaster. Got to call his first All-Star games. He's now the lead voice of baseball on Fox. 0-1 on Mathias. This is taken high for a ball, 1-1.
I like the conversation that John Smoltz and Alec Manoah had when he was pitching. He told him to throw a back foot slider and then hit Jeff McNeil with the breaking ball.
1-1, swinging a slow ground ball to the left side. This is collected by Fama Cannon. The throw to first is in time, and that is out number 1. 5-3 the put out goes for the first out of the 7th. And actually, it was Cosenza that made that play rather than Fama Cannon. Beg your pardon. Cosenza has entered the game at third base. And Doug Loden stands in next. And again, you always like facing him with nobody on base. Here's the pitch on the way, taken high for a ball.
Yeah, last time he really drove the ball last time, but just hit it. Maybe deepest part of the yard where right field and center field meet. It's one of the long ways and then drop down for the RBI double.
1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the 1-0 to Loden. This is taken high for a ball, 2-0. David says Barry Bonds. That's not correct. I'll give you a hint here. This was a 24-time All-Star.
Oh, so it's Willie Mays.
Willie Mays, swing and a miss, and the count is 2-1.
That was my next guess.
Yes. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame, of course, in 1979. And you were right on with any All-Star game records are pretty much held from players of that era because of the 2 All-Star games each season. Here comes the 2-1. This is taken high for a ball. I'm actually not sure. It would have 2 different All-Star, like would it be right in a row, or would they play at 2 separate times during the season?
It was 2 separate times during the season.
Here comes the 3-1. Swing and a miss. The count goes full at 3-2 as no host blew one by Loden.
Yeah, I was reading really like an autobiography on Willie Mays where it's 24 chapters for his number.
Yeah.
And they talked about his All-Star game performances. And they would play one at a National League park and one at an American League park because this is when interleague play still hadn't been incorporated into baseball. That wouldn't be incorporated for another 30 years in the 90s after the lockout. So this was the first time some teams would actually see some All-Stars from the other league.
Here's a payoff pitch, high and outside, ball 4. So that made it extra special.
Right, and so for Willie Mays, who was playing for the San Francisco Giants after they had moved, some teams like the Yankees, who were so used to seeing Mays play in New York, would then get to see him for the first time. So that's why they had 2 All-Star games, so everyone could come and watch the game. But now with technology, we can watch any game now. As before the game today, I watched 2 baseball games in Oakland and then in Houston. You can watch any player you want.
This is taken for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, it was the World Series and the All-Star games were extra special in those days. And again, that didn't change until interleague play was incorporated in the late 90s. 1 ball, no strikes on Loden. This is taken, or I should say, this is on Ferry, and this is taken for a strike, 1-1.
And now they're going to go to a more balanced schedule. You get to see every team in the league, all 29.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1 high for a ball. There will be slightly fewer division games and some fewer games against the other divisions within your league for the opportunity for more interleague games. With everybody having the DH now, it makes it a little easier. Here comes the 2-1. It's high for a ball, 3-1.
And I really like that, too, because, you know, as a Cub fan, we don't get to see Mike Trout too often. And so he'll play at Wrigley Field once every 8 years, and now he'll consistently be going there. And so has Shohei Ohtani, who I don't think he's ever played a game at Wrigley Field in his career.
Here's the 3-1. This is high for ball 4. Ferry works the walk. Back-to-back walks here issued by no host, and now there's 2 on with 1 away in the 7th.
And I think that also is going to help baseball in the long run because now you have these young fans where maybe they live in Atlanta, Georgia, and they never get to see their favorite player play. Now they're coming to Atlanta every year so they can reserve tickets and then go to this game. As you see it really work out in the NBA, is if Steph Curry's coming to Indiana to take on the Pacers, you're going to see a lot of fans, young fans, wearing Steph Curry jerseys.
Sure. Here's a breaking ball strike to Matalich. Yeah, it should be a very positive thing all the way around. The Corn Dogs trying to tack on. It's 5-4 in favor of Lake County as we play the 7th inning. This is low and outside for a ball. Count 2 balls and a strike. Matalich 0 for 3, but he was robbed on a great play by Chris Baker in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. Baker made a great play and prevented 2 runs from scoring. And if this game continues to be tight the way it is, you can really look back to that play where Baker prevented 2 runs.
Here comes the 1-1. This is taken off the plate away, and the count 2 balls and a strike on Matalich. Two and 1. Here's the set, and the 2-1 pitch. This is high for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, right now, No Host is not getting on top of his fastball, and everything is staying up. And after that pitch, you look over at the Zabig, and it's been really a boring inning for the infielders after the ground out to third. His back-to-back walks to Loden and Ferry.
No Host trying to battle back in the count. He's behind 3-1 after Andrew mentioned he has walked back-to-back hitters. The Oilmen bullpen stays hot. Here comes the 3-1. This is high for ball 4, third straight walk. He has walked the bases loaded with 1 away here in the 7th.
And the way that Mike Clay, the home plate umpire, has been calling the strike zone tonight, you really know upper half of the strike zone. He's really been about right below the letters to the knees. Anything at the top of the normal strike zone, he's not been calling. Saw it both ways, and right now it's just that No Host has been struggling and self-inflicted wounds right now for the Oilmen. And I mean, one double play and this inning's over, and you still have a 1-run game going to the bottom of the 7th.
Adam Enright wants the baseball here. The day is done for No Host as he goes just a third of an inning, walks 3, and retires 1. New pitcher coming up, and it looks like Nick Hayden's in. We'll tell you about him when we come back. The 7th inning resumes after this. It's the Corn Dogs 5 and the Oilmen 4 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Lite is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success. I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted, bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
Well, Adam Enright is not messing around. He is bringing in a guy who has often been his closer, his perhaps most reliable bullpen arm in this spot, as Nick Hayden comes in the 7th inning with the bases full of Corn Dogs and 1 away. Hayden, who joined me on the broadcast last night for an inning, is on the mound in this spot as he will inherit a bases-loaded jam left to him by Cam No Host, who goes the third of an inning. He allowed no hits, walked 3, struck out none, and you cannot close the book on him yet as he's responsible for all 3 base runners that Hayden inherits here in a big spot with the Corn Dogs clinging to a 1-run lead and trying to break it open.
And this is a good move, in my opinion, from Adam Enright, because you have Nicholas Johnston coming up to the plate, and in all 3 at-bats, he's put the baseball on the ground. So you're going to go to a reliable guy that's going to throw a lot of strikes and see if you can induce the ending double play and keep it at a 1-run game.
Nicholas Johnstone will stand in with the Corn Dogs again clinging to a 5-4 lead, but trying to expand that lead after they have loaded the bases via 3 free passes. Here's the first pitch. This is swung on and lifted, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. A soft fly ball to left, 1 run in, a second run's going to try to score. Here comes the throw toward home. It's cut off. 2-run single for Nicholas Johnstone. Loden and Ferry come in to score. Matalik holds at second base on the single by Johnstone that drives in 2, and the Corn Dogs have added on. It's 7-4 Lake County.
Good swing from Johnson going the opposite way, dropping it into left center field as he saw the first pitch he liked and drove it, and nothing Heidi can do there. It was a tough pitch, and unfortunately for him, it just dropped in.
Now the lead is 3 as Hayden allows a little flare, and it drives into charge those runs to No Host. This is swung on and wrapped foul in the count 0-1 on Curiel. Corn Dogs, 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Oilmen, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 4 errors here tonight. Oilmen trying to get back on track after a brutal 11-0 loss to the Giants last night, but they're going to have to rally to do it. Here's a check swing. Did he go? Yes, says Art Garcia, the base umpire. and it's 0-2 on Curiel.
Curiel has not been too comfortable at the plate tonight. 0 for 2, but he did lay down a very good sacrifice bunt in his last at-bat. But he needs to have a nice hit here and keep the pressure on the Oilmen.
Here's a 2-strike pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side. This is fielded on a few bounces. It go to second one. The relay throw to first is not in time. It's a fielder's choice 5-4 as Cosenza feeds Marshall for the second out of the inning as Johnstone is out at second. Safe at first, Curiel. Going to third on the play, Matalich. Runners at first and third. And now 2 down here in inning number 7.
Marshall just didn't set his feet there, and that was what turned into the wild throw that was off the bag. Zarnecki keeping that baseball in front of him and now allowing Matalich to score from third. Now you have Scott Hansen coming up, who's gotten 7 hits in his last 3 games.
Here's the pitch taken high for a ball. The count 1 ball and no strikes on Hansen, who singled in his only plate appearance of the day so far.
And it was a nice swing right back up the middle where it got him the hit and an RBI.
Here's the 1-0. It's taken high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 outs now. Runners at first and third. The 7th corn dog to bat in the 7th. And Hayden's 2-0. Outside for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that Kyle Hallberg just told Scott Hansen to take one here, see if he can load up the bases. And it looks like Colin Small is standing on the on-deck circle for Donovan Noble. Looks like he'll come into the game.
Here's the 3-0. Taken for a strike call. It's now 3-1.
So now if I'm Scott Hansen, I'm sitting on a dead red fastball in a certain area and trying to drive it. Because for right now, Hansen, the way he's been swinging the bat, everything's been looking like a grapefruit coming up to the plate.
Here's the 3-1. This is swung on and lifted in the air, right side. Over is Zarnacki, and going all the way over to take a look, Marshall, and this drops foul. Now we go full at 3-2. Hayden battles back in the count after falling behind 3-0 and works it to full on Hansen.
Well, with 3-2 and 2 outs and runner on first base, Curiel is going to be on the move. So this is going to be a big pitch right here, in my opinion, as Hayden's battling right now, and he's the 4th pitcher to come out of the bullpen, and if Hansen can deliver, and the Corn Dogs can build on their lead.
3-2, 2 down. Runners take their leads at first and third. It's still a manageable game for the Oilmen right now at 7-4, but you don't want to let that lead get much larger at this late hour. We are in the 7th inning. Here's the payoff, and it's taken inside for ball 4. It's the 4th walk of the inning issued by Oilmen pitching. Bases are loaded again now, and that'll bring up Noble.
That is actually going to be Colin Small.
Yes, you're right. You mentioned that. Beg your pardon there. Colin Small comes in.
And I'm wondering if that is one for defensive reasons, as Colin Small plays a good second base. And Noble made a great play, but you have to be careful with Noble. He's just coming off of injury. He played all 9 innings, well, actually all 8 innings yesterday, and he's already had to sprint a few times.
First pitch to Small is low for a ball. For his first plate appearance, this is a big spot with the bases loaded and 2 down. Oilman just trying to stay in the game right here. 1 ball and no strikes on Small. Here's the pitch high and in for ball 2, 2-0.
Small had a nice double down the line yesterday in a 2-for-5 performance, and he drove in a run and he scored twice. But he's been sitting in the dugout for quite some time and now comes up against one of the better relievers that the Oilmen can offer.
Hayden is behind 2 balls and no strikes. He walked Hansen a moment ago, the 2-0, and it's the 2nd straight 3-0 count.
Now this has to be a red light. There is no way Colin Small swings at it. If he does, there's a good chance he may get a pinch hitter or a defensive substitution going to the bottom of the 7th.
2 outs, bases full. Here's the 3-0. It's a strike, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, that was right down Broadway as Hayden got a get-me-over fastball, and now he's back in the count 3-1.
Now Hayden comes back to Small on the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and lifted foul out of play, and for the 2nd straight batter, it goes from 3-0 to 3-2.
I think every kid has been put in the situation before. 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded.
Merry-go-round time. Runners will be in motion all the way around. Hayden collects himself for a moment. Now he's ready. Here's the payoff pitch. This is swung on and cracked in the air to center, but Baker is right there to make the catch, and the inning ends. The Corn Dogs do score twice. They do it on one hit and leave the maximum. It's time to stretch at the OC. It's the Corn Dogs 7 and the Oilmen 4 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Go to the office. We build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Have a student headed to college this fall? If so, you probably have questions, and the best place to find answers is Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech is in your community and offers hundreds of options. Best of all, our tuition is a fraction of the cost of other colleges. Complete a free application today.
The Oilmen were shut out for the third time this season last night in an 11-0 loss to the Giants. Tonight they're on the board with 4 runs, 2 in the second and 2 in the fifth. They're going to need more if they want to win a ball game as they trail Lake County by a 7-4 score. Jake Tometz is completing his warm-up tosses here. The left-hander came on in relief of Ryan Troxel. Didn't have his best stuff, but put his team in position for a potential victory, and he's in position for the win. And Tometz is back out for another inning of work, and so far so good for the Southpaw.
Tometz has looked really good in his last couple of appearances. He's had a couple where he's been tagged, but he was a starter at Munster High School. He just recently graduated, and that's why you'll see him come out of the windup. Most relievers don't come out of the windup, mostly out of the stretches. Sometimes they'll come in with runners inherited. But when you have a starter that can come out of the bullpen like Tometz, that's good news for the Corn Dogs. That means he can go deeper into the game and not just 1 or 2 set innings.
And when you advance to the college level, most arms on a pitching staff were starters in high school. Here comes the pitch on the way. First pitch swinging, ground ball to the left side. Field on 2, bounces by Schultz. The shortstop, with his momentum carrying him the other way, makes a running throw to first in time to get Brennan Phillips 1 pitch and 1 away here in the 7th. But the point I'm making is that it serves you well to be able to adjust and come out of that bullpen.
Again, Jake Tometz is going to a pretty good D3 school, DePauw, in which they're one of the better D3 schools in the state. So there's a good chance when he gets there he will be a bullpen arm. And with him being a southpaw, that's going to be really good news for him and his team. And I think DePauw really got a good player in Tometz.
Yeah, DePauw, the alma mater of a very notable person. Here's a strike call in the count 0-1. None other than Northern League Commissioner Don Popovec. So we know they produce great baseball talent, or at least talent that stays in baseball. May not be in a playing capacity these days. Here's the 0-1 outside for a ball in the count 1-1.
You tell me we're not going to see Don take the mound at any time this season?
We can only hope not. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Marshall. 7-4 the score in favor of the Corn Dogs. But just DePauw coming up, I had to mention that. Connection to the Northern League. In Greencastle, Indiana, here's the 1-1. Swinging a foul off the body of Marshall in the count 1-2. I think he was a great bunter in his day.
That's one thing I want the MLB All-Star Game to incorporate, because in the Japanese baseball league, they have it where there's a giant target, and you have to try and bunt it right in the middle of the target. So maybe down the road, the MLB can do that. I think John Lester could have been really good at that game.
1-2, the count on Marshall. That could be thrilling. Here comes the pitch on the way. This is taken outside for a ball, or a challenge for outfielders where they shoot fly balls up against the wall, and you have to try to make catches or something like that.
Yeah, that would be fun. You'd have some really strong candidates for that one. Maybe Griffey Jr. would have been a multiple-time champion with Seattle.
Here's the 2-2. Swinging a ground ball right side. It deflects off the mound, redirects some. Knocking it down is Small, the second baseman, but that's all he can do. This is a base hit for Marshall with one away here in the 7th, and that'll bring up Zebig.
Yeah, Small did everything right there. I don't think we'd be able to get Marshall anyway because that ball was way up the middle. But you just knock it down, keep it on the infield, and see if Thomas can get the double play now. But he's got to face a pretty good hitter in Jack Zebig.
Double for Zebig in the 5th. He reached on an error in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3 for the ball game. Lefty on lefty here, 7-4 Corn Dogs. They have taken the lead with 2 in the 6th, then added 2 in the 7th. Here's a line drive, and this is knocked down by the shortstop Schultz. Flipped to second. There's one, and that's all. This goes as a fielder's choice, 6-4. Nice play by Schultz to knock this down and keep it on the infield. Nothing could Marshall could do, as he had to hold up, thinking this line drive may be caught, and he is caught at second base for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, you're right. There's nothing that Marshall can do because your job is not to get doubled off, and you just have to assume that if the shortstop could put a glove on it, he's going to be able to catch it. Schultz doesn't, but luckily for him, it dropped right by his feet, so he just flipped it to Colin Small in plenty of time.
Here comes the first pitch taken high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Zarnacki. Corn Dogs 7, Oilmen 4 as we play inning number 7 at the OC. That was a big-time play by the Corn Dog shortstop. This is high for ball 2, 2-0. Again, that was ticketed for left, and suddenly the tying runs at the plate. You only have 1 away with 2 on, a chance for a big inning. 2 balls and no strikes on Zarnecki. He takes high, ball 3. Falling behind here is the southpaw. 3 balls and no strikes.
You may still get the tying run up to the plate if Thomas can't locate the strike zone against Zarnecki here.
Thomas is 3-0. Low and outside ball 4. He does just that, walking him on 4 pitches, and now runners at first and second with 2 down for Emmanuel Scott.
It looks like Thomas just got out of his mechanics right there. You have to settle in right here against Scott, and you can't load up the bases, especially when you have Josh Cunha on deck. Now you have the tie and run on base. After you granted 2 walks. For the Corn Dogs, they're only up 3 runs, and I've seen it too many times this year where the Corn Dogs were up a few runs on the Oilmen and allowed them to come back into the ball game.
Runners at first and second with 2 down. It's the 7th inning. You'd love to start to chip away here if you're the Oilmen, but you're going to need some clutch 2-out hitting to do it in the 7th inning. Scott singled his last time. He struck out in each of his first 2 plate appearances. This is his Oilman debut. The right-handed batter awaits the first pitch. It's taken for a strike, and it's 0-1 from Tomets to the batter, Emmanuel Scott. Corn Dogs out hitting the Oilmen 9-8. The Oilmen have made 4 errors tonight, 1 for Lake County. This is Loden in for a ball, 1-1. Again, the Corn Dogs in first place at 25-9. Oilmen seeking their 20th win of the season here tonight. They'll have to come back to earn it. The 1-1, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That was a big cut from Scott. No question what he was trying to do there on that swing.
He was thinking about tying this ball game. A lot of 2-run innings up on the scoreboard tonight, all around. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. And the throw will go down to first to complete the out, and the inning ends. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left for the Oilmen in the 7th. On to the 8th, Corn Dogs 7, Oilmen 4 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
I've never seen ads on top of the roof where it's helping the community.
This place teaches you to be genuine, to be the same person today as you were yesterday. People from Indiana, they're pretty comfortable with who they are. And you know, I think that puts the people around them at ease to be comfortable with who they are.
The values that built Indiana are here in Strachan Van Til. We're Indiana's grocery store, and we're proud to be Indiana made.
These days, it's recommended that you keep your social circle small. Of course, as the original light beer, we've always recommended that. It's Miller time.
Oilmen led 2-0 early. The Corn Dogs tied it at 2. Then it was 3-2 Corn Dogs. Then it was 4-3 Oilmen. Then it seesawed back and forth again and went 5-4 Corn Dogs. Lake County added 2 in the 7th. They now lead at 7-4. That means if you're the Oilmen and you're Nick Hayden, you desperately need a 0 here because you can ill afford to fall behind by more than 3.
Yeah, and he came into that top of the 7th inning, but both runs were not against him as he inherited a bases loaded situation, and he was able to tiptoe around danger considering that 2 runs that scored, but it could have been a lot worse. It's still a 3-run game. You've seen Oilmen make plenty of comebacks this year, so nothing is comfortable when you're facing this team when they're at home this year.
It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Lake County in this inning. Yeah, just thinking about all the walk-offs. Kind of fitting that even the All-Star game resulted in a walk-off win for the home team here at Oil City.
Yeah, there's magic in Oil City this year, and how many times you've seen teams come back, bottom of the 9th inning, but that walk-off came in the bottom of the 10th due to the California rules that allowed the East to win over the West, or Team Indiana over Team Illinois.
Yeah, however you want to describe it. It was a close, competitive game. This first pitcher is hammered to left. This is going to be off the wall in front of the Brick Monster, off the Land of Frost sign, and it's going to go as a long single. We've seen that wall and that fence turn sharp base hits that would normally be for extra bases into singles. That's what it does here for this ball off the bat of Schultz, as Scott, relatively new to the Oilmen, but played that nicely and got it back in.
Now, just about to mention, Scott, for being new on the team, he knew exactly what that baseball was going to do, bouncing off the left field wall. If it was up a little bit higher and hit off the brick, it may have taken a different bounce, but when you can hold a guy over at first base after he was driven 300 feet and then some, you're doing something right.
10th Corn Dog hit and first for Schultz. This is low for a ball. Schultz was 0 for 4, but he bangs out a single off the Lando Frost sign in left. From our family to yours since 1958, Land of Frost. Here comes the 1-0. This is low for a ball, 2-0.
I respect that you got an ad read in there after that single.
And it was kind of between the Land of Frost sign and the Powering America sign, NECA IBEW Powering America of Northwest Indiana. Here comes the 2-0. Taken for a strike, 2-1.
So not only you got 1, you've gotten 2. So I think you can call that a broadcaster's double play.
Yes. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Mathis. Here's the 2-1. This is low for a ball. I was thinking about that unassisted double play earlier. Returned by Mathis, who's batting now. The first baseman. It was a line drive smash off the bat of David Marshall. He caught it and tagged the runner all in one fell swoop and had the unassisted double play.
Yeah, you don't typically see those nowadays.
Every once in a while, you get an unassisted triple play. Here's a bouncing ball toward third. Cosenza's throw is wild. It's an E5. And advancing to third base is Schultz as he goes first to third on the play. It's an error all the way, allowing Mathis to reach. As a throwing miscue is the 5th Oilman error of the game.
Yeah, it's really been the story. Is you look up at the board, everything looks similar except for the errors department. 5 by the Oilmen, 1 by the Corn Dogs. I mean, you continuously make plays like that where you're just shooting yourself in the foot. That can really hurt your momentum because those are outs that your pitcher should be getting. But right now, none of the pitchers have had the support from behind them tonight.
Loden will stand in with runners at first and third, but every once in a while you get the unassisted triple play. Here's a swing and a miss. And they count as 0-1.
There's only been 2 in Major League history, right? The unassisted triple play.
I want to say there might have been a few more than that. I know 1 for sure. It was by a former second baseman. Can you get it here, Andrew, who played for the Cubs and the Phillies?
Would that be Ryan Sandberg?
It was not. Here's the 0-1. So it's outside for a ball.
Cubs and Phillies.
I actually know this. I'm pretty good friends with the son of this person who is a Northwest Indiana guy. I don't know if he was native to Northwest Indiana, but he was living in the area for quite some time. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, and the count 1-2.
I don't think I can recall who that would be.
Mickey Morandini.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't have gotten that one.
Turned an unassisted triple play, I believe, while he played for the Phillies.
We saw the first ever 8-5 triple play in the White Sox.
Yes, that was thanks to some very suspect base running.
If that's what you want to call it.
1-2, the count on Loden. Here's the pitch on the way. This is popped up. It is on the infield. This will be the shortstop. No, it's the third baseman, Cosenza, to glove it at the last second. He kind of stuck out the mitt and caught it underhand with the mitt at waist level, and that's the first out of the inning.
Was the key out, because now you have one out, and Mathai is still standing on first base, so the double play is in order. So one ground ball up the middle, and the Oilmen could keep this at a 3-run game after runners on the corners and no outs.
Yeah, yesterday the Oilmen dropped a pop-up on the infield, but they were bailed out by the infield fly roll. In this spot, this was not a situation where the infield fly roll would come into a play with a runner at first and third. So, fortunately, Cosenza able to make the catch. Here comes a swing and a line drive foul. I'm going to say there were a few more than the two, right?
Yeah, now I'm looking at it. There's a whole list. The most recent one was 2009 by Eric Bruntlett, who's with the Phillies against the New York Mets. And you're right, Mickey Morandini is on the list. He was with the Phillies, and that was against the in-state rival, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No balls and a strike. The count on Ferry.
There was just a time where there was 3 years in a row when there was at least one unassisted triple play, but there hasn't been one since 2009. 13 years running.
How many total? Here's a check swing. Did he go? Apparently not. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ferry. Is it in the 20s maybe?
15.
15. Okay, I was thinking at first 12, but then I saw how long that list looked on your computer screen. I was thinking maybe 20. Here comes the 1-1. This is outside for a ball, 2-1.
The first one was by Neil Ball on July 19th, 1909, when he was with the Cleveland Naps against the Boston Red Sox.
2 balls and a strike. I think that was my first year with the Oilmen. 2-1 on Ferry. Just kidding, of course. About a century away. Here's the 2-1. Taken for a strike on the inner portion, and the count evens out at 2-2. Hayden trying to keep it a 3-run game. Corn Dogs at first and third with 1 away. What were the teams again involved there?
For the most recent one? Or
No, that very first one.
The Naps of Cleveland and the Boston Red Sox.
Always been a big Naps fan. Here's the 2-2. This is swung on and lifted to center. Right there to make the catch is Baker, tagging from third and scoring an insurance run here is Schultz. It's a sacrifice fly for Jacob Ferry. It's his 17th run driven into the year, and it's now 8-4 in favor of Lake County.
Yeah, and for Chris Baker, he wasn't able to deliver a strong throw towards the plate because that baseball kept going. It was just driven really hard by Ferry, and Baker, his momentum was carrying him back, and he just stuck the glove up just in time to secure it. And it wasn't a strong throw, and the Corn Dogs capitalized. Now have scored in 4 straight innings.
Matalich now with 2 outs and a runner at first. Here's the pitch low for a ball, 1-0. Yeah, Lake County, as you heard Andrew mention, has scored in 4 straight frames, 2 of those 2-run innings. They have also scored in 5 of the last 6 innings, with 3 of those 2-run innings. That makes it an 8-4 lead. Here's the 1-0. Taken for a strike, 1-1. Again, 2 more games on the homestand. We will be back with you tomorrow night. I'll be with Adam Oppenheim. And on Saturday, I'll be with Josh Lepowski. 1-1 outside for a ball, 2-1. And Leo will have it for you for next week. 2 balls and a strike, the count on the batter here, Matulich. 8-4 the score in favor of the Corn Dogs. They are out-hitting the Oilmen 10-8, and the Oilmen have made 5 errors in this game. This is swung on and sent to left. This ball's going to get down for a base hit. It's going to split the gap and get all the way to the wall. Around third, getting the green light around third is Mathis. He's going to try to score, and he will. It's a run-scoring double for Matalich as he drives in another. It's his 11th RBI of the season. This one is an unearned run as Mathis had reached on an error, and it is 9-4 in favor of the Corn Dogs.
Yeah, you see how the inning started with Emmanuel Scott playing the baseball perfectly off the wall and Schultz's single. That time, that ball hit the wall and went with it towards right center, so it was going away from Emmanuel Scott, who was chasing down the ball. That's what allowed Mathias to score all the way from first base.
Both runs in this inning are unearned, by the way, as the Oilmen have allowed 5 unearned runs of the 9 they've yielded tonight, with the miscues leading to tallies throughout the evening. Now Johnstone. Another pleasant weather night here at the OC. This is taken outside for a ball 1-0. Very warm tonight. That's when you know it's really midsummer, when it is still very warm at 9:45 at night. 84 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Right at this moment. Here's a swing and a foul. Supposed to be another pleasant one tomorrow with a high of 88.
Where else would you rather be on a beautiful night like this than watching a baseball game?
It's perfect. With the unique oil refinery backdrop. Oilmen baseball has just meant summer to a lot of us for a long time. I know the listeners who have been with us for a while feel the same way. The 1-1, this gets away, and advancing to third safely here is Matalich.
Yeah, and that's what Ralph Flores, the owner of the Corn Dogs, is trying to accomplish, is building the community through this baseball team. And so far, the Lake County's caught Corn Dogs fever, and it's been really fun to be behind the mic for a developing fan base that's really coming around.
Yes, and they do have very good Corn Dogs, I can confirm.
Yes.
2 balls and a strike here on Johnstone. This is taken for a strike on the inner portion, the count 2-2.
I was before the game trying to push for maybe Don, the owner of the Oilmen, to change the name maybe to just for momentarily to the Pierogies.
Here's the 2-2. This is taken inside for a ball 3-2. We go full for a payoff pitch with 2 outs coming up. That was in honor of Pierogi Fest coming up, a big event here in Wyden.
Yeah, could you imagine it? The Pierogies versus the Corn Dogs.
That sounds tasty. Here's the set and the payoff pitch. This is swung on and lifted foul off to the left and out of play, and it remains full at 3-2.
That's something that's been popular with minor league teams as of late, is for about a week they'll change their name to something else and break out new hats and uniforms.
Yes. It's root for the Pierogies. 3 balls and 2 strikes, the count on Johnstone. 9-4 Corn Dogs as we play the top of the 8th inning. It's a 5-run lead. Here's the payoff pitch. This is swung on, lifted foul off to the left and out of play. Both runs are unearned in this inning. Any further damage would also be unearned, as the inning should have been over. The fly ball to center off the bat of Ferry would have been the final out if it weren't for the throwing error that began the frame. It's always hard to get 4 outs in an inning without allowing a run or 2. It's hard enough to get 3, but you don't want to force your pitchers to get 4 or 5 outs in an inning, and the Oilmen have done that a little bit too often tonight. Here's the payoff pitch. This is swung on and lifted in the air, left field, in foul territory. Scott over, and he can't get there. This is a foul ball. It remains full at 3-2.
Yeah, doing a little bit of quick math here, only 4 of the 9 runs have been earned tonight. That's typically not a good ratio if you're the team that's committed the errors.
Right. Not at all. Johnstone stands in, and the payoff pitch is upcoming. 9-5 in favor of the Corn Dogs as we play inning number 8. Oilmen, again, 11-0 loss last night, coming out of a long stretch of being off. Here's the payoff pitch. This is swung on and lifted in the air in foul territory, and unable to make the play is the catcher Phillips. A lot of the Corn Dog players are outside the dugout, kind of in the area where they were Oilmen fielders were trying to make this play, but it falls untouched, and we remain full at 3-2. Good battle here.
Yeah, Johnson's been swinging a good bat today, 2 for 3 with the 2 RBIs that he had just an inning ago, and he's seen a lot of pitches in this one. Let's see if he can win the battle and pick up his third RBI in the process.
Hayden collects himself. He's ready to go back to work and deliver yet again a payoff pitch. From Hayden to Johnstone. Runner at third. Matalich takes his lead. Corn Dogs with 4 multi. Here's a pitch taken for strike 3 call. Caught looking as Johnstone in the inning ends. But not before Lake County tacks on 2 more. They do it on 2 hits and leave 1 after 7.5. Corn Dogs 9, Oilmen 4 in the Northwest. Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Is just too hot. I mean, God, look at it. It's making the sand burn, the mouth dry, the skin cry. I mean, everything's just... Oh, there's Coors Lite. Well-mouthed desert, meet ice-cold beer. Mountain cold refreshment. Let's chill.
Who is the IBEW? We're the people who bring the power to your home. The ones who make sure your phone calls and internet keep speeding along. We build things like schools and hospitals. We bring the biggest shows and sporting events to the world. Keep America's railroads on the right track. Help cities, states, and the federal government work for you. And we proudly build products made in the USA. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW.
You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't know Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra. Now, you do.
Back for the bottom of the 8th. We talk a lot about this Corn Dog pitching staff, but the offense has been strong all year long as well, and that's why the Corn Dogs find themselves at 25-9. They have 9 runs on 11 hits tonight, and they've scored multiple runs in the 3rd, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings, Andrew. 4 different multi-run frames. That'll lead you to a lot of victories.
Yeah, there's been some really nice at-bats today, and you've seen some of the guys really pick up the slack as of late, but also it can also revert that the Oilmen have not been making the plays in the field. They can open up the window for the Corn Dogs to come up with runners on base and drive them. As this the past inning, 2 runs scored, and none of them have been earned. So for the Oilmen, they still have some time to bounce back going to the bottom of the 8th inning. But yeah, the last 2 days, Corn Dogs have collected 30 hits in total.
Oilmen will send up the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Cunha, Curcio, and Cosenza are due up in this inning. As we get going with the 8th inning here momentarily. Again, a look at the games ahead. Tomorrow night, Police and Fire Appreciation Night. Tickets are available on NWIOilmen.com. We hope to see you here tomorrow night at the ballpark as the Oilmen take on the Joliet Generals at 7:10. And the Panthers are in town at 6:10 on Saturday night. And you don't want to miss that one. It is Superhero Night and a T-shirt giveaway. That's right. It's on Saturday night at 6:10 here at the OC Oil City Stadium, with tickets available now on NWIOilmen.com.
You tell me Batman's going to take time from his busy schedule to attend an Oilmen game?
I believe he may.
All the way from Gotham. That's awesome.
Yes. Do you have a favorite superhero?
It's Batman.
Yes.
So that you may see me attend, just take a picture with Batman.
Sure. Or you could be here dressed as Batman.
Oh, I don't know if people want to see that. I don't have my Batman suit ready to go. It's out the tailors.
Swinging a broken background ball to the left side. This is going to be misplayed on the left side of the infield between the shortstop and third baseman crossing over. Third baseman came in to try to make the play on the high bouncer and couldn't glove it cleanly, and safe at first, and we'll see how they score it. Looks like E5.
Yeah, it's just the second error on the Corn Dogs. That was a broken bat, and Curriel just didn't make the play.
Now it's Curcio. This is high and inside for a ball, 1-0.
Any favorite superhero for you?
Batman's a good choice, at least as far as movies, for sure. Those would be my favorites in the superhero genre. This is taken for a strike, and the count 1-1. Spider-Man's not too bad either.
Spider-Man, I feel like that's a very popular answer.
Yeah, not much of a Superman fan. I do like Flash. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. And the count 1-2.
We always have to show appreciation for Captain America. I'm not talking about David Wright, third baseman for the Mets.
Yes. 1-2, the count on Curcio. We look forward to Superhero Night again on Saturday and a T-shirt giveaway. Here's the 1-2 wild pitch. This bounces in there, going to second safely. It's Cunha. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Oilmen need some quick offense as they trail this one by a 9-4 score. Oilmen just have not been all that consistent overall this season, particularly on offense. They've had some bright moments. They've had some great wins, but they've been a little bit up and down all year long. Here comes the 2-2. Here's a line drive. This is caught, and it'll be one out. Tomets, the pitcher, is able to snatch the hot line drive, and then he looks the runner, Cunha, back to second base, and that's the first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, this was unfortunate for Curcio right there. He had the right idea of going back up the middle, just found the glove of Tomets. And also luckily for the Oilmen, Cunha realized that the ball was caught and got back safely as Colin Small had a long way to go to try to get to second base. And good thing that Tomets just pocketed the baseball instead of forcing a play.
Here's a pitch taken for a strike called by Joe Cosenza, and the count is no balls and a strike as Cosenza steps in for the first time today. Tom McCannon is gone. The 0-1 is swung on and lifted foul off to the right out of play. 0-2 on Joe. 5 Oilmen pitchers to this point in the game. That's been a recipe that they've had some success with over the course of the season, having the starter go 4 and then using a parade of relievers. Normally that doesn't work, but for the Oilmen it has throughout this season. Here's the 0-2. This is taken high for a ball on the count 1-2. (9-4) in the 8th, 1 away. Runner takes his lead from second. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cosenza is out on strikes for the second out of the 8th inning.
That's been the bread and butter pitch this year for Jake Tomets. It's that over-the-top curveball that does more of a sweeping motion in on the hand of righties and front door a lot of lefties. So with Baker coming up with a runner on second base, I expect Tomets to start the at-bat with that curveball.
Lefty on lefty here. Baker takes a strike, and the count 0-1.
As a lefty hitter in my time, I'm typically used to that if there is a lefty on the mound.
No balls and 1 strike. Were you a left-handed power bat?
A little bit. I certified myself as a line drive hitter, so kind of like Jose Ramirez.
Here's a swing and a foul off to the left out of play.
I'm not saying I am Jose Ramirez. That's why, if I was, I'd be down there, not up here.
Right.
But was a short, stocky guy that didn't try to hit it over the fence, but tried to work the gaps and do whatever I can to get extra bases and drive runs in.
1-2 with 2 down, 9-4 Corn Dogs as we play bottom of inning number 8, lefty on lefty. This is high for a ball, but those are always tough matchups for left-handed hitters against a good left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, a good friend of mine was on the team. He was a southpaw, and it was an ongoing joke that whenever he was on the mound and I came up to the plate, he was going to throw a first pitch curveball. And he knew it. He didn't make it hidden at all.
Here's the 2-1. Taken for ball 3, 3-1.
So that's why if you ever have that question of if you were a hitter, who's the one pitcher you wouldn't face, I usually would say the same answers of either Aroldis Chapman or Randy Johnson.
Yeah, those would be tough guys to face. This is taken outside here. Count full now 3-2 on Baker. But very tough lefties. They can both really bring it in terms of velocity that pay off. This time it's taken high and outside for ball 4. Baker works a 2-out walk, 2 on, 2 gone here in the 8th.
Especially Randy Johnson, as you said, he had the overpowering fastball, but also had a wicked slider.
Yes.
That lefties did not stand a chance again. It was John Kruk who saw a fastball sail over his head at the All-Star game. He took the helmet, flipped it, and went to the other side because he was like, I'm not facing Randy Johnson as a lefty anymore. I'm going to go as a righty. And he went down the next 3 pitches.
Brandon Phillips stands in next. Of course, whenever you talk about Randy Johnson, you're obligated to mention the incident where he, of course, nailed a bird with a pitch.
That was in spring training. He's not the only major leaguer to do that. I believe it was Dave Winfield that did that.
Here comes the pitch taken for a strike. So Winfield, it was a thrown ball?
It was like an ongoing joke that after he was done, he'd take a baseball and try to throw it like out of the stadium.
This is high and outside for a ball, 1-1.
So he let one just sail out, and he hit a bird. Yeah, here it is. Accidentally killed a seagull.
It's very unfortunate. Here comes the 1-1. This is inside, look out, hit by a pitch here is Phillips. So an error, a walk, and a hit batter in this inning, and the Oilmen have loaded the bases with 2 down for David Marshall. Did Randy Johnson's seagull, I'm assuming, also met its end that night?
What it says is there was an exhibition game between the Blue Jays and Yankees. He went to throw the ball after warm-ups in the 5th and hit the seagull and killed it. This was 38 years ago.
This was high and in for a ball, 1 ball, and no strikes on Marshall. Bases full of Oilmen here. It's a 9-4 game, but it would be a good time for perhaps an extra base knock that could get the Oilmen back in the game as we hit the 10 o'clock hour here. Here comes the 1-0. Taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. So this was the Winfield story.
Yeah, this was 1983. He was actually with the Yankees and threw a warm-up ball in the middle of the 5th inning that ultimately killed it, and then Johnson did it years later.
Here's the 1-1. Taken for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike.
There's actually a video of it. I just think that Johnson's was more famous because it happened in the middle of a game.
Here's the 2-1. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. This is off the mound. This gets through the center of the diamond. Base hit. 1 run in. Round 3rd. Here comes Baker. He scores. Throw behind the runner at second. Not in time. 2-run single. David Marshall and the Oilmen take a bite out of the deficit. It's the Corn Dogs 9 and the Oilmen 6.
Well, that's what happens when you have unforced errors. The error by Curiel, a walk and a hit by a pitch, sets the table for 2 runs to score and puts the Oilmen back into the game. The 2 runs at the top of the 8th seemed as though the Corn Dogs are going to put the Oilmen at arm's distance, but now you have the tying run up at the plate with Jackson Big, the 4-hitter.
Both of those runs are unearned. It is 9-6 Corn Dogs. There have been no shortage of unearned runs in the game overall as the Oilmen have yielded 5. Here's a pitch high and in for a ball, 1-0. Jack Zebig, the cleanup batter, trying to come through. He takes here high and in for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Thomas is out of his mechanics right now, and I think with the error in the walk and the hit by pitch, he's just been struggling.
Here's the 2-0. This is swung on and lifted in the air, shallow or deep left center. This ball's going to get down and split the gap for a base hit. 1 run in, around 3rd's Marshall. He's going to try to score. He will. Throw goes to 3rd. 2-run double. Jack Zebig. Don't look now. It's 9-8.
Yeah, you can never put this team away. When they're at home, they just continue to swing the hot bats, and a 4-run bottom of the 8th put them in striking distance of tying this game.
That ball just kept carrying into the gap in left center, and it eventually rolled all the way toward the wall as it got between the left fielder Ferry and the center fielder Hansen as Kyle Hallberg comes to the mound here. 2-run double for Zebig. Back-to-back clutch 2-out hits for the Oilmen. And this all started with 2 outs and 1 on base. And now 4 straight Oilmen have reached. A walk, a hit batter, and an error all coming back to bite the Corn Dogs. All 4 runs in the inning are unearned. And we've got ourselves a 1-run ball game here on a Thursday night at Oil City Stadium.
Yeah, once I saw the ball come off the bat of Zebig heading for left center, I just knew it was going to keep carrying, and Hansen and Ferry ran a long way, but there's nothing you can do when the wind just takes it and carries it an extra 10, 20 feet and got the drop right on the warning track, and some good speed from David Marshall. He scores all the way from first base, and a base hit most likely ties the game at 9 apiece.
Let's see if Zarnacki can accomplish that right here. Tying run at second base, 9-8 in the bottom of the 8th. This is high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Tomitz has been sharp for most of the day, but with 2 outs here in the 8th, that has not been the case as he had a walk and a hit batter before a pair of hits. Each of the hits driving in 2. This is inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes on Zarnacki.
Now you're behind in the count, the high leverage count for Zarnacki.
2-0. Swinging a foul at the plate off the mask of Johnstone, and the count goes to 2-1. It wouldn't be an Oilmen Corn Dogs game without some late drama.
Always, just always.
Thought for a moment the Corn Dogs might coast as they led 9-4 going to the bottom of this 8th. But that's not the case here tonight, as the Oilmen have scored 4 two-out runs in the 8th inning to make it a one-run game. A 5th two-out run would put us back to even. Here's the 2-1. This is swung on and popped up. It's playable on the infield. Small, the second baseman, makes the catch and the inning ends. But not before damage done, as the Oilmen crowd appreciates the 4 runs that they score on 2 hits and leave 1. After 8, Corn Dogs 9, Oilmen 8 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Hire certified electrician contractors, you're getting the best. But just as important as our skill and expertise is our culture of safety. We know it's important to you, and we know it's important to them. Certified Electrician represents the Nika IBEW team, a team where safety and productivity go hand in hand. It's why our jobs finish on time and on budget. It's why owners that use us are repeat customers. Certified Electrician, working together, powering Northwest Indiana.
Wait! Let me help! Land of Frost! Premium meat! Delicious! And no byproducts!
Toss it in.
Et moi?
Okay.
Whee!
Make a smart choice. Land of Frost Premium Meat.
Yes! When it comes to Sunday, choose the right couch. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller time.
Nick Hayden has worked an inning and 2/3 so far. He's back out for another inning of work here in the top of the 9th, and his mission is simple. It's to keep this a one-run game. Corn Dogs 9 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors. The Oilmen 8 runs, 10 hits, and 5 errors. And Andrew, the teams can both agree on one thing. Needing to play clean defense, as unearned runs have hurt both sides.
Yeah, it all started off with an error, and sometimes it's all it takes is one error on the infield to really get the rally going. And for the Oilmen, because of that error, they got to go back to the top of the order, in which Baker and Phillips got walked and hit by a pitch, and then some key hits from Marshall and Zabig had made this a one-run game. You're right. I thought maybe the Corn Dogs were going to coast, but I know better whenever the Oilmen are at home playing the Corn Dogs. They really want to win the game, and they really want to win in front of their home crowd.
Oilmen have walked off twice against Lake County this season. They've walked off twice against the Giants as well, and they find themselves within striking distance. And that was the goal in the 8th inning. Put yourself within striking distance for the 9th, because when you can get to a one-run game in the 9th, you start to feel that momentum that the kind of that excitement and the energy in the crowd. So I think that makes the top of this 9th inning so crucial. If you're Hayden in the Oilmen, a 0 is a must, and if you're Lake County, you feel the need to go back to work here offensively.
You have to recapture the momentum. It's really the game of momentum peering its head right here, especially as you thought you had it wrapped up. Oilmen bring it back in. So you need some insurance runs, as it went from a 5-run lead to a 1-run lead all of a sudden.
First pitch here, high and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes from Hayden to Cal Curiel. We're in the 9th at Oil City Stadium. Here's the 1-0. Taken high for ball 2. Hayden falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Thirsty Thursday at the ballpark, each and every Thursday night. Here comes the 2-0. This is taken outside for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes.
That would be a good first step to recapturing some momentum, is getting Cal Curiel on base, a leadoff hitter, to set up the top of the order, where Scott Hansen has gotten a single and a walk after he came into the game in the 5th inning, but gotten 2 plate appearances in the 6th and the 7th.
Hayden's been behind in counts a little bit more than we're used to seeing, but he's worked back in many of these counts, but he can't do that here as he delivers inside, and this is a 4-pitch walk, and as you talk about, Andrew, a leadoff base runner.
We're just playing for a couple of runs. You still have the lead, and Curiel's got some good speed, and Hansen, again, has been swinging a hot bat as of late. 7 hits in the last couple of games, and continues just to get on base and rake at the plate.
Hansen has been on base twice tonight since entering the game mid-contest. He takes here low for ball 1. Hayden has missed the zone with 5 straight pitches to begin this inning. Hayden, the 5th Oilman to pitch in this game. Here comes the 1-0. Swinging a line drive or a bouncing ball, right side, base hit, right field as this leaks through the infield. Going first to third on this play is Curiel. The throw to third is going to be not in time. On a close play, he slowed up and went in standing up, and a bullet of a throw came in from right. But safe at third is Curiel as he goes first to third on the single by Hansen.
Well, this is Hayden's 3rd inning of work, and the longest he's gone this year was 3 innings against the Panthers. So Oilmen really looking for Hayden to lock this game up right here as he's gone a long ways against a pretty good lineup.
Here comes Adam Enright to the mound to talk things over. He'll summon everybody to gather around the rubber, and the troops will come together to talk things over as the Corn Dogs have runners at first and third with nobody out. We'll see how the Oilmen play the infield here in this spot, as that runner at third feels huge. Most times with nobody out and men at first and third, you'd play back for the double play, but the Oilmen may consider keeping the infield in here to be sure to prevent a run from score.
And you have Colin Small at the plate, so you're going to also play your outfield in, and you feel comfortable with that. In Small's last at-bat, he drove one to center field, but Baker had just shifted perfectly to make the play and keep the bases loaded for the Corn Dogs and prevent any further damage in the 7th inning.
Mike Clay is out to move things along, and the strategy conversation has subsided, meaning baseball will resume. 9-8 Corn Dogs, another 1-run contest late in the game between these two. Huge run at third base. The middle infield is going to stay back and kind of halfway. Here comes the set from Hayden. And the first pitch. It's a bunt. This is high and in for ball 1. That's another thing they had to be conversing about, is the possibility of a safety squeeze from Small.
Well, now the Oilmen are aware of it, and looks like Hayden doesn't like the baseball there. So now they may play in a little bit, as Curiel had a deep lead over at third. Now you have to be careful because Phillips is aware of that and may try to backpick you if they think you're going to take off towards home plate like that again.
We've passed the 3-hour mark. It's the Corn Dogs 9, Oilmen 8. We're in the 9th. One ball, no strikes. Runners take their leads at first and third. Here's the 1-0 to Small. He takes a strike. Throw to second on the runner is not in time. Now they throw behind the runner at third, and that's also not in time. This is a stolen base as Hansen steals second. So you had a lot of possible scenarios there. You had the batter showing bunt. You had the possibility, of course, the runner being in motion between first and third, and it ends up being a stolen base, and now a base hit could drive in two.
That's the fun part. Me and Josh Lepowski of the Panthers were talking about this yesterday. You don't really see a whole lot of small ball anymore in the major league, so you see some college players that still do incorporate it into their offense. It's fun to watch.
Here's the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball toward third. Runners hold. Throw to first is going to be in time at first base to nip the batter Small. 5-3, the putout goes for the first out of the inning, and the runners stay put at second and third. The infield came in there after the steal of second because before the middle infielders had to be aware of covering the bag on a steal of second, so they couldn't come in until after that steal. And then with the infield in, the runners have to hold on this bouncing ball to third, and the Oilmen notch the first out, and the infield stays in.
That's a nice play by Joe Cosenza at third base, throwing out Colin Small. And great awareness by Cal Curiel to immediately retreat to third base and make sure he doesn't get himself into a rundown.
Now it's Schultz. Here's the first pitch to him. This is swung on and popped up. It's on the infield. It's playable for Zarnacki. First baseman makes the catch, and the runners have to hold. There were runners at second and third with nobody out. And just like that, there are men at second and third with two down. And a crucial point in this game with the Oilmen trailing 9-8 but trying to keep it a one-run game, and Brett Mathai stepping in next.
Well, not the result Tyler Schultz was looking for, obviously. He just got underneath that pitch, lifted it to the right side. He's got beat by a fastball, and the easy play for Zarnacki. Now this is going to set up probably the biggest at-bat of the game thus far. The Corn Dogs are trying to score at least 2 runs here with Brett Mathis.
Here's the first pitch to Mathis. It's taken high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 9-8 Corn Dogs as we play inning number 9. course, the infield at normal position now as far as depth with 2 outs in the inning.
If you're Mattheis, you're just trying to get on base as Doug Loden standing on deck.
Hayden's 1-0. Swinging a check swing line drive foul into the third base corn dog dugout. The visitors occupy the third base dugout here at Oil City Stadium, and the count 1-1. Somehow, some way, these games seem to find a way to be close late. It's a different path to get there each time, but it finds a destination of a 1-run game in the 9th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike on Mattheis. Here's the pitch from Hayden. Swinging a check swing foul, and now it's 1-2.
Yeah, I don't like those swings from Mattheis. If you're going to swing, just swing. Sell out for it. And that's twice now where he's tried to hold up and made contact with the baseball, and now Hayden is 1 strike away from straining 2 runners and giving the Oilmen all the momentum going into the home half of the 9th inning.
1-2, 2 outs, 9-8 corn dogs. Hayden trying to do something no Oilman pitcher has done since the 4th. That has put a 0 on the board. Corn dogs scoring in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. This is taken inside for a ball. We go even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a really good take by Mattheis. It was very close to the plate inside, and he laid off of it, and you'll see another pitch from Hayden.
2-1, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Corn dogs 9, Oilmen 8, inning number 9. And here's the pitch. This is swung on and lifted in the air, shallow left. This is going to be the left fielder. No, the ball falls, and 2 runs are going to score as the ball falls in left. Scott and Baker crossed over, and the catch cannot be made as the ball falls. As Scott appeared to be there, Baker came over, and then Scott could not make the play. Mattheis ends up at second base. 2 runs come in and score, and it's 11-8 in favor of the Corn Dogs. As E7, Scott was there, he just couldn't squeeze it. And now it's Loden. Here comes the pitch to Loden, taken high and outside for a ball, 1-0.
Now you have Loden coming up with a runner on second. And that's just a heartbreaking way for this inning to continue.
Boy, that was a big one. Here's a swing and a miss, and the count 1-1. 11-8 Corn Dogs. And the Corn Dogs have scored twice in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Scott was there. It was a ball that had to run a little bit for, but he got underneath and then just couldn't squeeze it. Hit him in the glove. The 1-1, swinging a foul. Baker was racing over from center, and that made it slightly more difficult because Baker was coming at him, but Baker can cover a lot of ground in center field, and he came over toward left, and it ends up getting down, and it's 11-9 in favor of the Corn Dogs as we play inning number 9. Loden trying to add on further because, you know, this game is not over until the 27th out is recorded. Here comes the 1-2. This is swung on and popped up. This should retire the side. Marshall gloves it and the inning ends. But not before the Corn Dogs do damage as they score 2 more unearned runs on 2 hits, or 1 hit, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. I know you won't go anywhere. Corn Dogs 11, Oilmen 8 on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Lite is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
I am a success. I am the future.
I am.
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 I am Ivy Tech Community College.
Are you?
You guys are crushing it. See how 8 grams of healthy protein in Land of Frost premium meat gives you energy and keeps you full. Let's get those buns toasted and bread. Cheese, 10 more. Go.
I'm getting shredded.
Make the smart choice. Land of Frost premium meat.
Back here at Oil City Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 11-8 in favor of the Corn Dogs, as Lake County has scored exactly 2 runs in 5 different innings. And they have scored in 6 of the 9 innings overall. They lead this ball game by a score of 11-8 as we take it to the bottom of the 9th, until Metz is going to try to nail this thing down as he remains in the game here to work a 3rd inning. Actually, a 4th inning. He's already worked 3 innings. This will be his 4th inning of work. He's allowed 4 runs, but all have been unearned against him. And he is trying to nail down the save. Let's run it down for you here. The Corn Dogs are trying to up their record to 26-9. The Oilmen are trying to avoid seeing their record slip to 19-17. Here's a high fly ball to left. Underneath it and making the catch is Scott for the first out of the inning, as the Oilmen went to the bench there and brought in Kane Hedrick, and he flies out for the first out.
Well, that's a good start for Thomas if he wants to try to lock down this save. 1 pitch and 1 out.
So again, Thomas trying to get the save. The starter Troxel is in position for the win, and if it holds, Mike Burness would get the loss out of the Oilman bullpen in a bizarre game in terms of trying to figure that out. Here's a pitch taken for a strike. The count 0-1, but it is Burness who is on the hook for the loss, and Troxel is in position for the win as the Corn Dogs have held the lead since the middle part of the game. No balls and a strike here. This is taken for strike 2 call, and it's 0-2 on Cunha. Nice performance by Thomas out of the bullpen here to come on. He has not allowed an earned run. All 4 runs in the 8th inning were unearned, and he's trying to nail down a save and get the Corn Dogs to 26-9. The 1-1 swung on and lifted to right. This ball is going to get down for a base hit in front of a sliding Matulich, the right fielder. He came on and couldn't glove it. Cunha has a base hit, and that'll bring up Curcio.
It wasn't hit all too hard, but it just was able to dive right in front of Matt Tillich, who did everything he could to try and make that grab. Thomas, he's got to shake it off and go after the next hitter, because the runner on first and the runner at the plate don't matter. It's the guy that's on deck. You don't want to come up to the plate in this inning.
Oilmen have 11 hits in this game. The hit column fairly even. The Corn Dogs do hold a slight 12-11 advantage. Here's a breaking ball strike, but the Oilmen have just not played well enough defense to win today. Well enough on D. Here's the 0-1 taken for a strike, and it's 1-1, or it's 0-2, I should say.
That's a good way to bounce back after allowing the single, is get ahead in the count 0-2 and see if you can get at least a double play or a swing and a miss. You just don't want to get a hit here or allow the Oilmen to have an opportunity.
0-2, low and outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Those 2 runs with 2 outs in the top of the 9th felt a little deflating tonight for the Oilmen. The Corn Dogs just kept tacking on 2 spots in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. This is outside for a ball, 2-2.
Those are some really good pitches from Thomas, but just much better takes from Curcio.
2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a swing and a foul out of play left side, and it remains 2-2.
Yeah, for Dom Curcio, did not expect him. You looked at the batting average, you mentioned it earlier, but he's been having some nice quality ABs today. Every ball's been put in play for him. He has 2 hits, and he's hit the ball hard a few times.
Yeah, this is taken for ball 3, 3-2. He had a chance at a 3rd hit, but that was when the second baseman, Noble at the time, made a ridiculous glove hand flip to first to retire him in the 6th inning. And he also lined one to the pitcher. Here's a line drive right side. This gets down. They go to first and get the out. 4-3, the putout goes. That can be a confusing play because it was hard to tell originally whether it was caught on a line or it bounced. And Mike Clay signals that it was not caught cleanly. So advancing to second base safely is Cunha. And Curcio is out, number 2. And Joe Cosenza is the final hope for the Oilmen.
The Colin Small has been a really good defensive second baseman this year. As right there was a hard hit ball, 1 hopper, and he laid out, kept the glove down, made the play, and took the for sure out. Instead of turning around trying to get the out at second, he just stood up and got the easy out at first, and the Corn Dogs went out away.
Oilmen have allowed 11 runs for the second consecutive night. Here's a swing and a foul at the plate. Tonight they have scored 8, but they still find themselves trailing by 3 with Cosenza representing the final hope. Bottom of the 9th at Oil City. 2 outs, no balls and a strike. The runner at second is Cunha. If the Oilmen need Cosenza to get on base, and then Chris Baker could represent the tying run. That's what you want. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2 called, and it's 0-2. And recognizing that, Thomas is going to go right after the batter Cosenza here. 2 outs and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Low and in for a ball. 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like he missed a spot there. Johnston wanted that up, but Thomas pulled it inside, and it's 1-2 now.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and no, a foul. A foul at the plate. As just able to stay alive was Cosenza, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You throw him a fastball, and then you go for the curveball that worked its way inside, and Cosenza just got a piece of it as you heard the bat hit the ball, and then it hit Johnston and went to the backstop. We'll do 1-2 again.
Here comes a repeat of the 1-2 pitch. Taken high and outside. We go even at 2-2.
This is a battle, just like the game today.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fitting that it comes down to a good battle here. It's taken for strike 3 called. Cosenza is out on strikes, and that's the way this one comes to a close as the Corn Dogs keep adding on and adding on late, and they hold off the Oilmen, winning this ball game by a score of 11-8, a game where the Oilmen commit a half a dozen errors here tonight at Oil City Stadium. Thanks to everybody involved in our broadcast. David Bork, Leo Staudaher, appreciate their help. For Andrew Mild, Brandon Vickery saying, I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:10 first pitch for the Oilmen and the Joliet Generals. But the Oilmen lose this game to Lake County tonight, 11-8. And please stay tuned for Leo's postgame show. It's next on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.
Go to the office. We build it. This is a truism with Ironworkers Local 395 and the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Our goal is to exceed our customers' expectations. We provide a skilled, OSHA-trained, drug-free workforce, as well as many other certifications from our 4-year training program. Every time you hire an ironworker from Local 395, you should feel confident that you are receiving highly trained, highly skilled, and drug-free journeymen and apprentices who take their job and your project seriously. For more information, contact us at 219-763-7900 or ironworkers395.com.
Have a student headed to college this fall? If so, you probably have questions, and the best place to find answers is Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech is in your community and offers hundreds of options. Best of all, our tuition is a fraction of the cost of other colleges. Complete a free application today.
Leo Staudaher back with you here at Oil City Stadium for the Northwest Indiana Oilmen post-game show. The Oilmen just didn't have enough late-game magic here to pull this one off, falling to the Lake County Corn Dogs 11-8. This was a back-and-forth affair, as most of these Oilmen Dogs matchups have been, as it was really just both teams matching each other punch for punch. The Oilmen got the scoring started in inning number 2, putting up a pair of runs there, and then Lake County quickly responded in the top of the 3rd with 2 of their own. They took the lead back in the top of the 5th inning. Lake County did with 1 run. Then the Oilmen got right back, putting up 2 runs in the bottom of that inning. Then it was the Corn Dogs 2 runs in the final 4 innings. 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. The Oilmen were able to bring within 1 in the bottom of the 8th, scoring 4. But it was those last 2 in the top of the 9th that really just felt like the dagger there, as the Corn Dogs just distanced themselves a little bit. The Oilmen weren't quite able to come back there, as they ended the game on a strikeout to Cosenza. But the Oilmen had some good performances at the plate. Chris Baker scored 2 runs. He had a hit and a walk this evening. We saw David Marshall had 2 hits. He drove in 2 runs. He walked as well, scored a run. Ziebig also driving in 2 runs, 2 hits. Good days for them. Dom Curcio had 2 hits. He's normally the guy getting a lot of walks, but today he was swinging the bat pretty well. that 8th inning, just a big 2 RBI single for Marshall. Then Zebig followed up with a 2 RBI double. The Oilmen just producing, but some errors too were pretty crucial for them, because if you look at the hitting matchup, they were only out hit 12-11, but the Oilmen had half a dozen errors, 6 of them, so that was just a little bit too many, and they were 3 runs short. So for the Oilmen, they'll look to bounce back tomorrow night when they host the Joliet Generals. It'll be police and fire night, so that'll be a fun atmosphere at the ballpark. The Oilmen looking to avoid a 2-game skid as their record falls to 19-17. They're trying to make up some ground in the standings, so they'll try to do that against the Generals team that beat them last time out. But until then, that's all the post-game coverage I have for you here. Once again, your final score was Lake County Corn Dogs 11, Northwest Indiana Oilmen 8. This is Leo Staudaher thanking you for following along on the Northwest Indiana Oilmen Broadcasting Network.